CareFinder is a real estate company that focuses on property development within the Gambia. We pride ourselves with providing not just quality and durable houses, but also state-of-the-art designs tailored to our clients' tastes and expectations. Our unique experience and expertise is second to none in the industry. We are currently building and selling 3-bedroom bungalows at Sukuta Traffic Lights and Jabang. We're also building and selling 3-bedroom story buildings at Sukuta Paradise. Other sites are also in the pipeline. With CareFinder, payment options are available. With just 40% deposit, you can get your house started. For more information, contact us on 329-5188, 727-0049, 709-8418. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram at CareFinder. With CareFinder, you are assured of a secure investment.
Assalamu alaikum badi wal ngali konton kal bismillah mo be kerfatu jube ka tembe namba fala mo be ko bismillah Allah di grand bantaba programme min kanale arjuma ni wato sirambe mol mbafala mo be ko ala barka bakel ke nyim programme no mo nyame gambe jangani gambe bantala mbafale ko thank you so much arjuma kana janne ka luntangol nati yalen ka kacha ko le mi alon ko wolle be kering banko kanja wala na mutanale bi fanan purga kacha ko do la mialon ko wolle be keren gambia banko kanjang nga luntando fanan nati mialon ko albaje la nyaato demandi bari janni wo CareFinder le be nyim programme ko ma ka korda wa fole ke gambia banko kanjang mo la sa korda la mialon ko e malla fi ka bataje wala ka problème wol soto je donc e bitada men wolem CareFinder ti korda le soto gambia karol bella korda lo rim bandingol be bulle bari natara kene ken sama le fanan be bulu CareFinder ba ka loro fanan kale ne wato la mialon ko ite lafta e pare o wato la e ka o kale ne wala tin nan ko mobbi futa fayda mol mialon ko lebe gambia banko kanjang walla be gambe bantala ni yela no mata mialon ko lebe tarra bari kan screen o duma donc albe korda kendol sotala gambia banko kanjang mutanale ne kota ke anen arjuma kota na anen the grand bantaba kota na this is the first grand bantaba in 2025. Nere happy New Year in 2025. This is our first grand Bantaba. Whoa! I nearly mentioned the name of our guest, but because it's very special, you know. First guest of 2025.
So mention on the last chat. So mention on right. Alaman.
Yeah.
2025 being I'm cheap Alaman.
Oh, CDS Alaman.
Munela.
Dinde Alaman CDS. I'm the CDS of Kabe $4. You don't know that place.
Kabe $4. Ndenga member kerin ne long. Aketa nyame akafole nyama. Ndenga wole long.
Kabe $4 fana bije.
Kabe $4.
Kabe $4.
Anyways, buba ni ko waxe rek ci abu es lañ nekka motaxit rek ma ñewal len ak lu ngeen musota gis.
Mashallah.
Wow, I fam US.
I like the
jël rek nda Egypt la nda Morocco la fo len ma place rek fa la nak tay mom.
Yeah, it's nice.
Rek def ay fi
wow.
Ganar. Naar beeg Libanese beeg bu mu ci mën a doon. Libya la boole man Gaddafi Libya.
Oh, in the Libyan style of it.
Wow, exactly Libya la nga bëgg ngeen booleel ma nag waaw.
It looks nice.
Waaw ak suma weex ak orange ak fleur gi.
So in 2025 we'll see Nene on hijab.
Mashallah. 2025 pare leen. ut leen ndox ut leen glace ut leen ay vie seen boor parce que dina am ñoo xam ne suffocation dina bari naa ñëw with a bang nii laa koy commencé nag bés bu nekk nag nga am fu ma foli tay affaire bi toola namo the international thing le kila 2025
international
di wax
apa min city apa yalo namo yalo defala mura mul afola mu ya fo
kabiri mun tuma
apa ngam afola mu ya fo min de ke
nyanko ngoro mu ka tene ka kitene te de do mutilo la tin te ka tardula ke
akama buga talibo ajube talibo
no ka sudan ni mantili ko le fo ka sudan
mantili ko bye.
But what do you expect, Bayo? You are UDPs and NPP, so exactly. Then continue.
Exactly. Tey nag moom nuyoo bi dama koo njëkkee sa ñi nga xam ne ñoo tax ñuy feetoo bés bu nekk ñi nga xam ne moo tax buñ feebaree sa ñu ne déedéet dinañ jóg buñ tukkee sa ñu gaaw a dellusiwaat just rek pour jàkkaarloo yéen am waxtaan gi parce que yéen a ñu dooleel yéen a ñu woon mbugeel yéen a ñu woon cofeel yéen a ñu wax ne li ngeen di def am na solo te mu ngi ñu indi yokkute ak jëm kanam kon di leen wax jaajëfati tooga yéen benn at ñaari at 2024 bi from January ba December kenn tawatut kenn amut gàllankoor te bés bu nekk ngeen toog di ñu seetaan di ñu dooleel call yee text message yi rek ni ñu jërëjëf ci li ngeen di def mu ñu ñaax nañu at bi yëpp kon di leen wax jërëjëf gu amul àppa kenn du yéen seen fay amuñ ko di leen ñaanal yàlla rek di ñaan ne at bu ees bi ñëw nii na nekk ati naat ati taranga ati naataange ati yokkute ati jàmma ati wér ak wérle loolu lañ leen di ñaanal yéen ñëpp nag ak fu waay mun a nekk ñi ci téléphone yi ñi ci YouTube bi ñi ci Facebook bi ñi ci TikTok bi bàyyi wuñ kenn ci turi borom kër gi faatu bu baax bi nag laa wax ñu ngi leen di wax jërëjëf ci turi Grand Bantaba suñ boos buuba ak panélistes yi yëpp ñu ngi leen di wax jërëjëf di am kontaante ku mag a mag ci yéen di leen wax ne nag 2025 waaye bu ko kenn rate parce que liñ leen amal ak la ñuy indi macha allah fatilan dina leen neex di ngeen ko bugga te di ngeen ci kontaan kon di leen wane happy new year di nuyu suma panélistes yi di nuyu suñ guest bi tey suma broda boppa la nag moom ndeysaan bugga ma lool bi ma ko yëg respect ma di ma ñaax di ma dooleel ma am kontaante ku rëy na moo ñëw fii nii tey ubbil ñu at gi kon loolu rëy na xam nga ñun Grand Bantaba the grand show and always a grand guest tey nag at bu ees bi ñu indil leen super duper grand guest kon toog leen xaar bés bi Grand Bantaba ajuma bi leen di la kon jërëjëf di nuyu panélistes yi yëpp nag na moo na Christmas gift warata kontanta mba use kan hanin kabi
okay bismillah batalibo
buba baraka bake neni baraka bake kere fatu jibe lalu mbal ko na kan
talbo natara ikafende fokade talbo badi mo ba dira la adila batalbo ko damal
dalu wa dile te jaka sela ko lege
bari at least talibo buba at least talibo natara mole ya diela pour aya dinna afutata mol dol mol ka dile la pour ya dinna abuka futa nka moyele ro
non bari même faut le do fade
femman futa
même faut le do
femman futa
afunga benta bulle
femman futa
di wala la sedoti
femman futa
sede tije ok talibo continue sede tije content roke ele
atul men kan jibe mbal konto na bake men be gambe bantala programme la coordinator fana buba konto na kere fatu toure mba konto na bake
bismillah
na la staff mo be be konto na sang dimal kan na banko president konto His Excellency President Goodluck Adama Barrow, the smart president of the Republic of the Gambia,
Goodluck
of the smart agriculture and smart roads.
bismillah
mba fulale 2025 baro pareta MPP wala be keri so be opposition fana kontona Mr. Bayo
Sonko
and MC la Congress bal me ya ki badin balda be kontona ba fo nyoni nge yo en be kontona
na wala Congress dia da man tay ka dia dal de
dia do ngaje ala bosni talibe be lori mbada
aro yalla Congress kele
ena dalo non tel minaka ki kan
bari fu December fa ñil ko December IC ko December fada
December ko ma January ndir batala
luwat nyala o tali
mo kilinti ni mo opposition tin tel mo man sare
ton min dia dal wala kala okay
so mbe Ablaye fanan konto namo mbe konto na base bi kay nimme yaji drom nanam
no nga awan zolta de ke bu bu ya awan zolta nga awan zolta Spain nga awan zolta Spain
na TikTok do video na problem ko ni no problem ka ko ni ma nyolo to don ka e ko du man dem ba so la ko ko ni bi jara advertisement no bula ada dinga da lale na awan so tale 2025 ala be da fura ko do na jamara bi jam
bi jabe siare
jamara bi jam kunum ko do do mu yalla nga programme ko kem fanan ka follow programme ni no ma comment section ni so nga mari long ndi pin ko wa bi jam kunum ko do dara la nyobulu karab atman suute gara de ko sava abe bidig do nga sava nga la fora be nyari ko nyem bidan do nga yende suuti ko hani ay docteur tal krefa ko na ke wa
I know
ga yemo comment section ani bi ba fara nekke ba te clean ga yemo be gamia jansila
I know, right?
Nga vidi nyola, you see politics.
Yeah.
So nini mwabe jamfare nyola, sikudo mnol mira nyoma, ni nata, no, abeke tunu tunu.
Gambia lemo kilini.
Abeke fakili.
Yes.
So, kamfa bal nini kukodo nga try drone 2025, nga mire nyente yutono utalale. Every politician, party discipline, and then focus na agenda kam nga push ni ala ko membe kala wala be kala
nyendiro e
bula ni nyo kada firol ni nyo tu mirolu na nyina bela party wo party you go back to square one itila agenda menti yo wafi ni do fana na agenda menti yo wafi e gambe ko le menta sang marché ni kono woita so me moldan la 2025 ben bebe diaspora ben bebe gambia ja politicianol pe moy je ñon kumandi la yalla parti banda ta congress la nina manifesto lena television olto na flyer safe ni del gagneta ni be kala na post lalto mon 40 ya jibe même man karam e mandar ko je mo be si education so political kono at the end of the day we are all one Gambia.
Right, thank you. But Ablay?
Yes, même all be kontona you know. Nimel baby ya aram ndunda sango men kono ay ke sandi mati mobe you know kay wo so banko na nyaton call you know aka men fo akumata politiko na mfansanse membe beti ala Gambia to aning molbe because mbe mbadi holleti you know mbe jibe lal kontona mbe ke faatu kontona everybody you know and always a pleasure to be on the show.
Thank you Ablay. Bayo?
Yeah, thank you very much Buba. Babla mule ko happy new year. Ndunda sang kuto kono alma ni sango ni na bankayra la. Bi na lunta men so da jang lunta ko ma mbalo mo le me yalo banko la ko kono you know abamanta ye baake.
Yes,
so to have such kind of guests here as our first guest for 2025 be attend to lo kama Grand Bantaba la ko surono niaje kabin la programme start nyameng sango sang melka kuma ni ko mule milalan ko Gambia katare e damento mobe yalon hoto mbin lunta ko kontonna ba fly ko welcome to the Grand Bantaba and nene kontonna comme yafo nyame nakalam tale ko advance dun tale de kabri advance dun nda fo lo ko tamuru ta subu me koma yala nyama drong
bismillah
be wolto
Thank you so
2025
much.
ha me koma
Thank you.
so talibu dum yalo ay kuma kilim fo jawo en kontane bakel gonna political dynamic ni na falling 2025 ha talibu le manage mala o dumbu ye kabri kana bari ye kuma kende wala fo bi but the problem is wala nyindu ko NPP atle be masakunda o fentare bu alkame fo mole so ndolu ya oppositions and you need to understand ndolu for the government hold accountable. So nindole government hold accountable at look at nala nindro nala bama ninkol at samol attack. So go alla pa jan. No ebe la mo el dro ela mo yalo jam tele bedere.
Agala do 2025 sonkola.
So ela mo dro man de tumi kan. So bari yemem fo.
Ala min ko andi jara kala ba no do.
Yemem fo. Ela mo dro yemem fo. Ela talbo. Ite ndolol ne. Asa nde even coming atul ko milke Alda Malwe you attacking na. As an in politics. Politics is about yela idea of what the politics so far can the political one for be. Mamre in a camera enter the movie one to one. No, I don't do that. So if I am voting, if I be ila political come the battle, be well known come for him voja. Be moja bale lon political kono. So Benjamin little advice as 2025 come in political if I got a project, Yama from Gold. No, I get the Talbul. Thank you so much. It's okay, no, it's okay. These people are patient. They get advice direct. Government condom, ya condom what?
Political condom.
Political condom.
Istubar sika kontuar.
Ale boya saba koldo.
No. Yajale boya it's not about masabakan.
It's about
I'm na boya na kanude. No, let's forget about politics.
Bismillah ala baraka. Thank you.
For 2025, left at 2025, lunch and dinner, left at New York. Because none man invite dinner when you go. Knife in the city. I promise you to now.
What did I ibetala? Boja ibetala. Ila domoro samba, ila jio samba.
I already know the okay,
Bua, the advance of that to sign. Say will not think that.
Spain.
Mr. Bemudina, Spain.
Spain, yeah.
But I'm going to important law and Bugana leave Monica because after suñ last show bi moo nekkoon last show si December bi 2024 bi bi mooy post show bi and it's after the fact pour just acknowledge the December 30th guys ñi nga xam ne deeyoon nañ si attaque boobu noonu last naka lañ ko December and all that wow exactly so bi moo nekk first platform bi after loolu noonu moo tax ma ne rek ñu fàttaleku leen
very important
ñaanal leen yàlla parce que man si suma gis-gis def nañ fi lu ne buleet def nañ fi lu fi kenn defut te ndax ànda ne ñoo ñoom da àndu ñoo ñoon that is a debate of its own waaye pour ne man dama feel ne liñ defoon understand nga ñu sacrifice seen boppa bokk na ci li nga xam ne moo spark you understand the change that biñ am you understand in 2016 boobu noonu li ñuy wax rek maybe one person cannot bring about a change maybe few people cannot bring about a change but one person or few people can spark the minds that will bring about the change and in my belief and opinion these people, I will call them heroes. I will call them, strong individuals. I will call them people of, oh my God, unmatched characters, sparking the minds that really brought about the change the hell right now.
That is right.
Yes, it's not the change that we all yearn for or we were looking for, because things have changed. Why baax na ñuy leen di fàttaliku di leen ñaanal yàlla yàlla àggal leen si arjana yi gën a kowe àggal leen si arjana yi firdaws di gën a dolli muñ seen mbokk seen xarit yi seen àndandoor yi képp ki nga xam ne amoon nga cofeel pour ñoom o jege nga leen ñuy continuer la di leen ñaanal di leen fàttaliku te bañ leen a fàtte so fekk naa ne it's important pour ñu def loolu noonu comme que seen anniversaire bi fekk na def nañ suñ last show bi last year moo taxit kon
that's very important
di la delloo kaddu bi buuba
thank you so much Nene that's very important di ñaanal gars yëpp because they went out for country and they died for country so ñu ngi ñaanal gars comme Nene mu ko waxee on behalf of the entire crew here.
You know, the entire victims.
The entire.
Well, there were many victims.
I mean, the entire, of course,
victims,
yeah, sure.
Pray for them.
Yeah, all right. Be duna program o kono walefe ko nga fo nyamen dong a commencer dula nga min soro mole mi alon ko kamma banko la ko bakele mole mi alon ko mo jamali alon nandu ya suti kolu kono mi alon ko be wole ke kan Gambia banko kan jang Sait Matty jaw atembul mo co-founder and executive director of the Center for Research and Policy Development mi alon ko ta kiskisirol ke Gambia banko kan janku jamal anim fanna jamal to ila kiskisirol kara wolto and kiskisiro kele of course amamme mi alon ko ye wala fintindi nyin kiskisiro kono ku jamal bi jele mi alon ko wala fintiraje an wala foraje min sunda man sakunda na da statement of fintindi wala kuma kan wolti mi alon ko e fen jamal le fo nyin kuma kan wolto bari wala min fintindi baake kuma kan wolto mi alon ko man sakunda ya wala fo wala min di ko i man song nyin sovera wala kiskisiro ti mi alon ko Afrobarometer yake atela nyaton ko ya Gambia banko kan jambe dunna tari ko la nyin kiskisir bunda nata nyaadi le Gambia banko kan jam bari ye mo jumale ni walle diam da bari kuma kan jamale bi je mi alon ko walle fota bari be folo la dame wala the National Assembly ti da mi alon ko Watson Gambia ye saferol kele ko bulola ta of course audit queries wala audit report la mi alon ko wala fintira National Assembly be kachala ko la da mi alon ko député wol dolo bi jele mi alon ko ye tumile ko ye alawan soltale watara mantara at the National Assembly fan ye alawan solta andu ya fonde pour ye kudo dolo bi jele pour ya sendi di am fan speaker and deputy speaker la kola ela of course alawan solo mi alon ko ka wala soto anen ela coupon sol mi alon ko ka wala soto jawal bi jele mi alon ko amandie saferol to mi alon ko ye wala ke mbe wo follow kachala on the Grand Bantaba bi but mbe na luntama bismillah la follow Sait Matty welcome to the Grand Bantaba for the first time huh?
Yes, thank you for inviting me. This is the first time.
Yeah.
And greeting. Sometimes I follow.
Thank you.
The other time I think I was on the same program on a different settle with Serifo.
Yeah.
Which was really interesting.
I
really enjoyed it.
I know, right?
Yeah, didn't you tell me my sister and then mom Yagana do tay and all other panelists, you know. I'm really happy to be here. Definitely. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So we start with Western Gambia, where they said Sekuba is a National Assembly member, of course, for NPP member. He said the National Assembly member for Basse recently received a monthly allowance of $40,000 between June and December 2022 as a regular NAM with no additional responsibilities. He was not entitled to this payment. The auditors have recommended that he reimbursed the National Assembly a total of $280,000. Now, it continues. The National Assembly Service Regulation clearly states that employees provided with official vehicles are not entitled to a monthly car allowance. However, Speaker Fabakary Tombong Jatta is reportedly receiving a car allowance of $40,000 per month, in addition to an opened fuel allowance. Well, they said at Fabakary Tombong Jatta's home, vehicle owners don't buy fuel because he has an open fuel allowance. Now, similarly, his deputy, according to Watson Gambia, Sidi Njai, has also accessed an official vehicle, is receiving a monthly car allowance of $40,000, just like the speaker, alongside with fuel coupons worth $25,000 per month. Now, this implies that both, this is according to Watson Gambia. They said this implies that both Bakari and Sidi have been allocated official vehicles costing millions of dollars while also collecting a combined monthly car allowance of $80,000 and fuel coupons exceeding $100,000. The following National Assembly members of the National Assembly received sitting allowances while they were out of the country and are required to return a total of $525,000, which was improperly disbursed to them in 2022. Now, these are the National Assembly members for UDP who receive some of these monies. Madi MKCC, $50,000. Fatu Cham, $25,000. Sankung Damfa, $25,000. Suleiman Saho, $25,000. Lamin J. Sani, $25,000. Lamin Sise, $25,000. Noto Alliance, Ami Koli, $25,000. Almame Jiba, $25,000. The National People's Party, Abdullah Sise, $25,000. Fatuke Jawara, $25,000. Maimuna Sise, $25,000. Salifu Jao, $25,000. Bileji Tunkara, $25,000. APRC, Sirif Sar, $25,000. Now, NRP Seni Jawara, $25,000. Alaji Bow, $25,000. Samba Jalo, $25,000. Ibrahim Jaite, $25,000. PDOIS Swaibu Ture, $25,000. Independent Ablain Jai, $25,000. Now, they said in 2023 and 2024, millions of sitting allowances were also paid to NAMS while they were out of the country.
Sangun Dampa, they put it under UDP. It's not UDP's NPP.
Sankun Dampa. All right. That is. I'm reading according to what. That is according to.
No, I'm just trying to clarify.
No, I'm saying that this is according to what's on Gambia. But the point here is National Assembly.
I'm not telling you that.
Okay. Okay. All right.
He's a member for Elias Controversy and is.
Okay, that's fine. So, what is your reaction to this, Mr. Yao? Yeah. What is your reaction?
The correction is noted, but I also hope that if the UDP numbers were understated, you'll be like, oh, you missed out on Charles and Fatsila. They should be on the UDP. I'm just saying.
So now let's allow her just to react to this. We'll come to you. Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, for me, basically, I want to comment. I mean, it's still not. We haven't seen the official
report. Yes.
Yeah, report yet. But I think this is also showing one, the National Audit Office is doing its job.
Yeah.
Who have thought that the National Assembly itself, would be audited. And I think it's a good thing that we do those kind of stuff to audit and all that stuff. So I'm happy that they are doing that. But the other issue, when I'm seeing this, I'm also asking these questions in terms of the sitting allowances and all those different stuff. I think the Assembly has to, possibly clarify that. I don't think it's also the politicians that we are directly paying themselves. There's an authority. So maybe there has been some sort of a mistake for the 2022. I'm not based on what they're saying, basically. But I think what is important is that resources that are meant for the country needs to be accounted, and that's what the National Audit Office is doing. So the other benefits and privileges and all those things, where the rules say that, those things have to be aligned. And I think that's what they need to do, ensuring that if they say, if you have car allowance, you cannot get that, they have to align those kind of stuff to ensure that people are not benefiting on double occasion. Otherwise, I think these are welcome. Such reporting are welcome. So I don't know what is the details. I cannot.
Yeah, because the audit is not there.
Beyond that.
They've accessed it, Nene.
xam nga naka lañ ko waxatee report yi nii normally ndeysaan danga am koo xam ne dina try pour jot ci yi parce que lii dafa war a nekk public document waaye dañ koy denca di ko xoot xam nga because again dafa am lu fi newoon system boobu fi nekkoon.
But I think the National Audit Office dañ dee mën a publish most of their documents. Also tamit yeneen nit yi dañ dee wax ne lii nekko fi waaye soo demee tamit incident place
si ñoom nga access ko.
Changes yi ñu ngi happen and these are institutions, independent institutions, and all these independent institutions are also trying to do their work at the independent level.
But all of them, what they're saying, all of them tamit dañu war a am website boo xam ne is running. They should update all these things as audit report bi su paree they should publish it so that the public should
can see
access.
that.
Yes,
But I
that
think
is
they
very
have,
important.
I've visited their website on several occasions.
Yeah, but still, for now, son Gambia, as journalists, we have to go there and
maybe they have the
No,
advanced.
because
we have to go there.
they have their sources
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
invest
yeah.
in trying to get
Get the
information.
story, yeah.
Not everybody is able to do it, especially media houses being a you know, ñoy try to make us and papa halis.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to new deal halis to go invest just to get those information
Yeah.
when it's supposed to be free.
That's true.
You know, we're talking about not I don't want to digress, the hospital saga, the audit report still now. Understand that the police don't want to give it. Nobody wants to give it. It's still under the rug.
Yeah.
And that's not the only one. You know what I mean? The IEC one, it leaked out even before they you know what? So that lolo my one that they're difficult to get information. But I'm happy what's at Gambia were able to lay their hands on this. If not, can len ko don yek. The fact them be ay months balanyo even hamne an audit was done and these are the findings and then nyuku ko. But now, the crux of the matter here is now we're talking about the National Assembly. Right? The lawmakers.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah,
This
the
happens to be
lawmakers.
the case here.
And then, you know, gis nañ fi IEC, you know, they're supposed to be, you know, corrupt free, they're supposed to be transparent, they're supposed to be honest and blah, blah. Because ñoom ñoo nekk the referees to the deciding factor because election is critical. It's very, very critical because election can muna taal dika, right? Legi ñoom su ñëwee ñu defal audit report ñu gis the findings. Trust me, dafa wàcca when it comes to the people and IEC. They have a lot of work to do to rebuild that.
Yes.
If they will even ever be able to rebuild it. And a lot of people are calling for a total overhaul of that institution from the top to the bottom. Right? Especially the commissioner, not even the staff, because you know directive lañ dee doxee. Now, nga ñëw si National Assembly members yi. Si biir yee bii nii, am nañ fi several of them sit on this chair, and I have continuously, consistently called them dishonorable. And with this report, I want to enforce and emphasize on that description of each one of them to call them dishonorable instead of honorable. Booba, loo elowut soo ko jëlee sàcca la loo moomut soo ko jëlee sàcca la gis nga boo gisee ñu ne ni dangaa liggéey ñu employ la jox la contract ñu agree ak yow from the onset salary bi ñu laa fay wala allowance la wala salary la a benefit everything is stated. Anything that you take that is not there on li nga agree, right, pour service bi nga provide ak li ñu laa fay ci loolu anything outside of that sàcca la. And su dëkk bi ni dañ fi am civilized sàccakat yoo xam ne they are costing lives. ñu ngee tax nit ñaa ngee dee nit ñaa ngee sona nit ñaa ngee ñàkk a lekka nit ñaa ngee ñàkk a tedda because of ñoom ñu ngee jël li nga xam ne moomuñ ko elloowuñ ko liggéeyuñ ko imaginal yow nga tukki fay nañ la padiyam understand nga fay la everything li nga soxla si tukki boobu noonu waaye yet still nekkuloo fi defuloo liggéey and yet still nga collect xaalis boo xam ne moomuloo ko. It's not only the National Assembly. We had our final General Council meeting yesterday. This issue was raised of fuel coupon. Yo, car allowance, right? Jox la moto, jox la driver, jox la security, jox la fuel, everything, maintenance, nothing comes out of your pocket. And yet still, you collect car allowance. Te yow am nga yëpp. Car allowance kay moo ko xam ne amut moto.
It's happening at your council?
Huh?
It's happening at your council?
It happened. It's happening there. Because it was raised there. And you have the administration defending and saying, blah, blah, let's do this and do it. It is undone. And it's not only there. Everywhere you go, you will see that thing happening. So it's a system issue. Not only a system issue, it's an attitudinal issue of the people. Because they are dishonest. They are not content. They are not God-fearing. It's the attitude. So imagine at that level, ñoo xam ne ñoo am the oversight pour aar li nga xam ne mooy alali askan bi suñ koom-koom bu miiga bi nga xam ne doyut ñu ngi dëkkee si ñaan di saraxtu understand nga waaye yet still loolu bu ñëwee ñoom ñu jël ko di ko pàccoo xoolal seen salary si since biñ toogee foofu noonu naka la yokkoo so basically it's not only the last legislature you know ba pare leena lañ war a bàyyi si dëkk bii nii fii lañ ko fekka nii lañ ko dee defee luñ doon def 77 years boo ñëwee tey gis ne right to wecci ko loolu mooy déggu loolu mooy jub loolu mooy jubal loolu mooy ragal yàlla waaye because of noonu lañ ko dee defee ñëw nga gis na ne correct or na la ne correct waaye because loolu moo fa nekkoon yow danga koo continuer parce que favor na la waaye guess what li nga xam ne dañ ko fa fekka te favor wu lañ dañ ko dee wecci te gis nañ ñu wécci lu bari loo xam ne mu ngi fa woon ay ati at waaye because of jaarut yoon pour ñoom ak seen dundin ak seen buga dañ ko wécci pour mu fit ñoom lañ buga so ñàkk a gëm yàlla la ñàkk a déggu la is very very manipulating and deceitful and dishonesty you understand lies and everything else their characters stinks
right
I don't respect none of them
thank you so much Talibo
mburu fop ko farñi loolu yo la fode ko mburu fop ko farñi wasan gambe men naade de kibar wolam te o ke malum foto nyalo bara ba di bidol fon floba ya fundi même be fo kan jambira opposition faru lim parti abele la dibido bi dam adu nyama ni bele ama silang ipe fundi e fundi e fan dipen ko waaw wasan gambe la me la modul la sikki la modul
no but when it comes to this other reports ga will fintindi they are accurate anu nga yele jamaa will fintindi masakunda kata la yeri act
kibaro be kibaro so nana tante ya de membira mbolo kala
okay
sai mimbi je dibitola nyaabe lo bala al funti al yal fan difen Suleiman Saw
bari Suleiman Saw ni dole
Suleiman Saw dibite kende balam ntila tatila dibite bungoro
okay
la kala baba kede ngalla men ke Suleiman Saw la mo ke MPP dibite fon la ya to fuja bukara hakal dan tila dibite matel de carte support le baké Suleiman Saw ko sa 40 ak tinindale ako folo de akati tinindale ado sobe atal banque député bungolo
ate ye wole fo ite ye mune fo
ande men fo baye ñing iko atale ñim fananta ay fundi de
man na ko mo jaabi de
ay fundi de because ñim mo ka tilinda mo ka sobe yada imanya na fentala me yalon ko itata nadi men ñim fo kan bia fande mo député bungolo akata mo député kendole ne fa ko député kendole sai mbawo ni nata kala kola janni nga ko fof katala koto no ba ko ma fereng ay funti afu mole ko jang abe darimten buba ne kumo banne daji ka fale hunde ka fale ngo andi nga malay ko na president ti jang na ke mewti na ke député ni man daji ko fale ate tala ye bula men na yoki ita menti dawoto inanta men kala yake ni ka banko salma moto fo man jiya la ka jiya ye mbaro kala iko ni mbaro kite ndo silo itile ye jiya dundi ay tariya ya asli ro bundanga yeda sai ni man nyinta moto bita ban fanta atita nan mbaro ninna biyal fana mun man sakunda do ko lalle ani men be nyato na place onto sai nol fon ka abi ika kila posol ko amanka opposol lati amanka mansalati woto ni nyoto ni fofe ne be nyoto kam political la bar tilim bed woti je de ko rafo mole tilim bed ay polo durne wat kuram polo ad durne tilim de pet awole wati de mar haramadu tilim bed ye hani say mi danya men ni ko ne ko famfo kaburun kunto fonsin kumbata jam nin kon kun da nya blado be jobla ro mum na ngay bonati
to ya
ko so haramadu na tilun ko la babba kala la ali nga doucement
okay
bari ndesi men fu mole wala mi ni banko mun tarati adun ka menke na dindim men be duma fa nam bole tala kare ka ni ki jam ko min ne men fu kare ni ngay ko député ko do dolom ay député ko manda ko e atel na dal kalbe tilinal nana na tilimbaliya jam bum ko di do modula ay ne fo dindimuli difte dindimuli ni kay ko e kay hanin tel to kala yaji o daji ka sifa o kuma ya bakatale men tambita o mistake ko lati bar tonya membe indi picture jam malon ko la ta nyamen na ga tilimbaliya a government wo MPP wo parti be problème so dana be te ita fela député ko ay mabe na tar to nyala watu Gambia be fo na tar wolom ko nyati bali téléphone français funtino ne ñu ko clarify moli
ya e ko do fon sendi
desu ni na tar ko wala mu ya
amay bolo so yanda sendi la na ta wala
ko do te say no la de
ana nyanta sendi
ko man say ko do te say
na kodolem nyindoti no moto fa isa fono la ko ila kodol dundi jele but this is how money
moto ye process letter ya delay la you understand but natara ya ko ya fu nyame wasan game fo wore on report nyin inyata sendela momo ye nyin alawan sota iman taraji iman nyanta tala it's theft it's theft, blatant theft
suñarolem
silang sando matanda no na gare njong fara dibi don klobe molla ko la ta nyame banko la banko mol kibaro la fita tan tolma
okay
kibaro memba senendi la wala be bel tumi
ya finte dia
ye fundi Suleiman de la député kende bal Suleiman mo bamba di bal Suleiman saw
taliwe politics you are playing guys I'm like go ahead. What is your reaction?
Let's wait and hear which among the list, the one name that Bayo is also going to hang on. I'm sure he's thinking about which name he's going to hang on.
Go ahead.
Yeah, for me, I have believed and a strong belief that the National Assembly of the Gambia is a waste. You see, in Six Sigma, we say waste is anything that doesn't add value.
Yeah.
Right.
And value should be progressive. You know, if you are a house, and that's, in fact, why did I give you the title honorable? Because you do things that usually are morally correct, socially correct. Now, this is the tip of the iceberg. Because you are talking about sitting allowance. What about the rumored 35,000 that is given to them as allowance monthly? Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But they don't want to clarify anything. But from my own investigation and reports, they get 35,000 constituency allowance. Constituency. That's different from the yearly constituency development fund. How are they doing? What are they using all these monies for? If an investigation and audit into these things comes out, I understand the audit has been done, but whether it's out or not, I don't know. You will be shocked how much we are wasting on septic tank diggers. Some of them were. They were the ones who were, you see, that house is supposed to be house for really honorable people.
So you were saying some of them used to be septic tank diggers,
yeah,
and they happen to be
to tell you the nature. That's why you said
where they are from and where they are now.
The systemic failure.
Yeah.
And you see, when all of you talk about attitudinal change, that is a secondary thing. Leadership is the first thing, and this is constitution. Attitudes change based on factors. There are things that influence, intrinsic and extrinsic. Now, if you want Talibo to change, there is something that Talibo listens to or must adhere to, which is the constitution. That's what you need to change. When you change that, people would change their attitudes by force. Luamu cruelty, aninka more straighten, aninka more guide. So all wale and falina. How do we, from since Jawara started to now say, okay, if you can speak English, it's better you say if you can speak even Mandinka. English is not our language. But we need to change to make sure we attract the likes of Sait. We attract the likes of other people. Melalo, they are exposed, they have what it takes. But these village fools are the people that we give these allowances to. And if you want to tell me those people should not take it, they will take it. Most of them are having construction projects. If you want to know somebody who is broke, look for those that are building. The money will come and go, poof. These people will not stop, they will take it. They have construction workers to this thing. They are not established. These people, they don't realize themselves. They don't actualize themselves.
Oh,
Most of them.
You didn't contest with the...
No, allow me. So what the problem is systemic. And for us to change it, it's not the attitude. That's secondary. The first thing is the rules must change. We need to change the constitution to make sure we attract the right people. The right people are elected.
But then, pardon me. You say where I differ with you there, like you say, the village fools, they don't know better. they haven't done better, they haven't been better, how can those people have the understanding to change a law that is going to be a people-centered law? So that's why I say the attitude. Because if you have a riffraff, you know, kujangut jongut, that word has gotten me into a lot of trouble, but I still continue to use it. It depends on how anybody interprets it. They lack the capacity, they lack the exposure, they're not visionary, they're not educated, you understand? They don't have the empathy to the people. Those people will not see the need to do any law that is going to contradict their lifestyle and the way they do things, because that is going to put them in check. So they would like to leave it there, not to have anything that will oversee or something, an oversight function or an oversight system. You understand? So that's why I believe that it has to start with the people first. And the right people will put in the right laws, then everything else will follow suit.
You see, if you look at the natural system, there has to be law to dictate certain attitude, either to flush it out or to flush it in. There has to be a system. The National Assembly members make laws, yes, but they are influenced by outside factors, which are usually more powerful. If we have a leadership in this country who wants to make sure the Constituency Development Fund and all these allowances are done properly, he will spearhead it and it will happen. That's the point. The point is, in fact, it's easier for you to take care of fools because they don't know they want to listen to you. That's my argument. So if you agree that, for example, their level is so low, myopic, that, you know, they cannot think about some of these things. You who brought them and you know they are fools, it's easy for you now to hold them and then take them to where you want. And that's where we talk about leadership. If now the president wants, let's say, for example, MPP, they have the majority for some of these things. They now say, okay, now we want to make sure these things are done. It will happen. Because we see these people bring in laws that only suit them. This is why I say the leadership. Because they all have their individual caucuses and so on.
No, but,
you have party whips.
Excuse me, Mr.
Allow me, let me
bottom top approach level. Nin tiling manke santo, duma tiling, nin tiling mandar sa duma, santo fana tiling. But yeah, ni ko be leadership da maji bela o dinkran.
You see,
ite be damen scientific, ite to sondam, ite be jam kante nyame, ibe duma, ite be tiling foka. Huh? So I need to tell him that escape something to tell him about.
You see, this is the problem. No. I'm got you on
Go ahead.
Talibo, we are missing this.
What? You are missing it.
I am deciding everyone try it. Go ahead.
Let's look at it from this point. We as Gambians, majority of us, if you ask us, as the research has shown, they will say, oh, we are not happy with the performance of the government. We are not happy with the direction that is going on. It is coming from what? The base. But what can we do about it? Little. Because that which would enable us to change it is not there. A case in point is the recall. We have it in the constitution, but there are other modalities and things that the parliament should work on to make sure it is easy for us. They refused it. So you realize that there are certain things that the bottom can do, but majority of it, our system is set up in a way that only the people on top can do those changes. And that is why our concentration is on leadership. If today there is a recall, most of these MPs would not even have 6 months. They are gone back to go and be digging wells for people.
So trust me, life after MPs stop them, it will be sad.
No, already we have MPs that you see all over. Some of them have gone to farm cashew. I'm not saying cashew farming is not bad. It's bad. I'm just telling you, these are real life situations.
Yes.
Now, what I'm trying to explain to Talibo is, and for viewers to understand, is Bankola Falimo, Doka Bono no Dumale. But me sembo beje na soto wala nyaton kati anil luwal because mo be luwal ko
nyanda bolo system wala to sai
wo system ko no
ite fa wa men fo da ko me mbatande wala nyinti ngamen tarjam
sai ka in demo fo
okay mo do ya fo jan
good
bari ite fa wala ka fo jam
nko
Let me tell you. No, let me tell you.
Okay, say I'm after the telephone.
Okay, so okay, what we are trying to explain is about the National Assembly. Luwal lenyanta dala meya member it in lako mo nyanta ka sembo soto easily même man taka doko che kam banko ye aye bonan doge which is the recall process. Well, now we are still talking about attitude. The attitude of the Gambia has changed to a level because we are seeing indications that malafina. Even the attitude of Wason Gambia or other media players like Grand Bantaba is changing the attitude of the people. But it has a limit. What doesn't have the limit is the law. What are you falling?
Yes.
Let's revamp everything. If there's a law that says, okay, if, for example, for you to see my context, if you are getting, let's say, for example, 1 billion worth of trade from the Gambia, within 5 years, you need to set up your company here. Otherwise, we will stop you from, this benefit that you are getting. You will see people, instead of now making tile in India, they will set up factories in the Gambia to make tile in the Gambia and export it to other countries. It's the law. It's the policy, the trade, and investment policy. These are things that change people's attitude and the way we do
if
our
they stop
business.
exporting the black sand, possibly we will have factories
This
that
is
make tiles
it.
and
That we need
glasses.
our black sand, we need this factory to come, then no problem, we can do. This is what you do. You need to use leverage.
Yeah.
And all that cannot come from the well digger, who happens to be the National Assembly member. It comes from the right people. But the law is not there to attract, say, who is educated and knows what it is. The law is not there to attract this well digger. No, example.
Example, Taliban.
Yeah.
Because
everybody should be.
We agree. Okay. We are not discriminating to say well diggers are not important. After all, water is the most important. But what we are trying to explain is,
if your expertise is in well digging,
yes.
you want to leave well digging and go and defend somebody in
Say,
court. You are
say,
not a lawyer.
say.
You haven't gone through
How-
the
how
process
can that
to
happen?
defend somebody and to win a case.
How do you
So this is an example.
No.
That's not a trade. It's not a career. It's skills and competence. It's skills. I mean, it's competence.
Experience you continue but
let me give you an example why I said it's a waste again before we come to this. If we, but I
think you have to move on.
Yeah, we have to move on, but this has to be clear.
Yeah, but not
This is the problem.
You are talking to something.
Just let me come. Just let me come.
Profession
but that is related. You sign member. Abe member can sign them go. Ayo da bondige. Yala mulum.
Ata bola jede. Parce que na problème
is doing a film it's a good advert. I pharmacy no sorole anun to Johannes. Then you are scenario every month like a cool. Very no deputy boom. Just let me come. Yeah, no, I'll give you this free advert. I'll give you this free advert. So full pharmacy babul.
You'll make people be calling me to stop them.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm going to give this number. Go ahead, I'm like, please. Oh my God.
Mane, but dama jógee Sénégal Sonko jox ma passport. Dama def paté mais ci passport bi bu.
Diplomatic passport so you get cancel it.
On a more serious note, this for all those that have partake in this, if it is true, for me I believe it is. Hardly is anything that comes and they say it's not true.
I also believe it.
I believe they should learn their ways or relearn their ways. This country should be at the heart of every politician. Anything me along as a banko sambano nyato mbenga taga akwoto.
Yes.
Okay, nteka mem for one. Nganyina je as yemenke, but it's a system enabled, attitude. So we want a system, may along, it will discourage some of these things. Because how on earth can you even get paid when you are not there? Already you went to your PDM, you called
exactly, yeah.
You called be dealer, Italian dame, you never come in sort of an old dealer. So if that imam mabeji, you watching it on wala. Ha, but Nte hand for being any opportunity for Natala to call on the government, and I will indicate 2 areas male on they are wasting. In a constituency development fund, the idea, the intention is good. But I want to advise the president of the country to revisit it. Because
there's a National Assembly member who actually written to the National Assembly telling them that after a constituency development fund, I don't know whether they know the meaning of constituency development. I'm telling you, this many National Assembly members, someone has written to the National Assembly, after we funds all use lady, Purkamano sang, Kasiala Moltem. That is not the purpose of that fund. It is not. Yeah, but maybe that one.
No, even with that is wrong.
Even Fenke, I take Fenke.
No, allow me.
I take Fenke. Is it Kante? Kante ngajela cement also. That is development.
Let me just give you this context. The problem of water in this country should be done. Only 1 year constituency development fund, because if every constituency has a constituency borehole drilling machine for the 4th year, that can drill a borehole for me who sits in Comba and want an agricultural farm in Kamvenda, okay, they are charging for 120, 150. Okay, you as a constituent, you pay 60,000. How would I not have my orchard, even though I'm working here? So you don't even have to disturb anyone, because the borehole drilling machine from China to here, earlier on, costs you around 350 to 400,000. It can be here for you. So that is the idea. And again, they will say, oh, that's what the people want. These people voted for you. At their level, this is what they are saying. But you, as a leader, come discuss with them, show them how do you make sure you get a councillor that has water problem free and everybody can do, even if it's 3 meters, your own garden, and water will not be an issue for you. For example, that cuts across the entire, and it's a multiplier effect, because if there is availability of water, it helps the agriculture, it helps the health and all, because people now will stop buying these imported things and they will be using their own labor. So these are the things that you tell your people and they will get it. But all of them milling massive. But again, how much of milling do we really do? Because we buy more rice than the cost the milling.
No, that's not total.
No, allow my
Okay. Thank you.
Now again, the aspect of training.
Let's move on.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Please,
the aspect of training.
Move on.
Why we said this is only the tip of the iceberg. We have a system that the government is actually promoting and is wasting our money. These people, we pay them to do this job. Every sitting we pay them. Every other thing we pay them. But they are not being resourceful and their performance is very bad. This payment that we are doing is the tip of the iceberg, because every parliament that comes in, we spend millions, if not billions, training them. From donor partners, government-funded trainings, and so on. And these people, because they are coming from a well-digging background, for example, they will go and we have to retrain, and that's a waste for government. That is why Nteko, it will attract the brightest. It's the most important how. So that even the training aspect of component capacity building will be less.
Okay.
That is the idea.
Okay, bye.
But anyway, starting with no problem. Sorry.
Next election, I'll cut off.
No, that's not the point.
Next election, we will come back.
Yeah, abarka baki buba. Bi programo nyim abe kumari mbakele. And then they am kan topic me along ko nyata kala mobile concern ne because banko na fulo ko dum down landing fenna me along ko banko dum nyanta kalon ne but like ndela nem fundla concern movement wala nyindu ko the report men findro mu 2022 leti so before 2022 melakake dibidol mel be nje for a benefit nyin ko la no because by looking at it dibitol le tobe nyin kato bala mel alon ko they were in the parliament before so I ndela miro na fahamro fenda me alon ko aman start 2022 fenda me alon ko abeke kanano so this mean ko dibitol me alon ko bebe nje they were I mean this is exactly what they were benefiting but it's not fair because niaji be nidiam dibitol le safro ko the law is silence over this and so on so but what nyanda ka kuguni niaji be PMO ni car allowance or dealer, let's say near motor dealer, for example, you're provided with vehicle. As normally they don't pay you car allowance, right? But the katale kana, you understand? And because motor be bulle. So and likewise, near residential, if they give you residential allowance, they don't give you car allowance. In civil service. PMO, if you are allocated with a vehicle, they are not going to allocate a vehicle allowance. So if you go into grade roads from grade 9 upwards, you understand that? They are the 1 million, they provided them a residential allowance of 1,700. So downward, they provided them a transport allowance of 1,500. So likewise, it has been National Assembly as a member of the parliament. It is Tama. You are out of the country. And when Nibe Tama can, every day you are paid almost about $300 pounds. I believe members of the parliament. So 300 pounds new check Gambia dollars that is all B. B near check is almost about Wulumwani Warawula. Every night so Nibe parliament kono, I believe every day, every student they pay them 5,000, I think. Right? 5,000 Hululu. So something like that.
I'm not sure. 1,005 or so?
Yeah, no, it's more than 1,005. It's more than 1,005. Even.
Yes.
No. What I'm telling you, Boya, 1,005 I'm telling you, even in councils. Citizen allowance is more than 1,005. You see, these are things me along day. It really me along, like Nadia Mon Rakan Sula Bakele. Because the Tarla Jang, the Wula Nyokang, the Kumul Nyokang, when we don't want to hold ourselves accountable. That's not completely fair. So Dibitaulu, Etita Tamola, Yo Soto, already, Imantara Jang. Ikejo citizen allowance of la Koranke. But saying I blame the finance department. Because remember the finance department at the National Assembly, they are the one who did that fault. Because one thing every year, sitting every day Nina take register. You have to register. So who is registering him? Because if your name doesn't reflect in the let's say another episode of parliament, this means you are not going to be registered. You are not going to be registered until and unless, for example, you understand? Let's say, Imanna, you speaker right, or maybe you have an emergency, you speaker right. So now it depends on the discretion of the speaker. Whether he is going to, put you in the list, because maybe someone else. And these are some, I'm saying, what I'm saying, it depends.
Absence with permission, absence without permission.
Good.
They have an order.
They have, it's order. No. What I'm saying is, it depends. But there are other things, Bango from Bogota without rules. We're talking about rules. We're talking about policies. So I am telling you, National Assembly need to get in a policies movement. In a policies movement, so because one thing is very clear here. I remember there was a time they did ask some of the government officials from Gambia era whether they were given impresses and they didn't retire. They summoned those people to pay back, and they even give them timelines for the
I remember that.
So now the same thing is happening right now. If you said Imalong, for example, or Imalong, and now because because they have been audited now, and now are Lonta, for example, all what they have taken, you understand, they should pay it back. They should pay it back. And no, I believe the finance department of the National Assembly should make sure you deduct from whatever salary they are having. And you see, another thing, the speaker and the deputy speaker also, like the amount of money they are also receiving. Yes, and you are getting car allowance. When you are also giving car and you are also giving fuel, coupons. Each of them, the amount of money they are taking. So by the National Assembly, the belief movement and why the National Assembly should all of you to go, they are the mouthpieces of the people.
Supposed to be.
I say no. They're supposed to be the mouthpieces of the people. And then so near National Assembly buba. It will debate all the National Assembly now. It's only their head. Then this means they are not representing us. This means they are only there just to eat money. And this is not about only MPP or UDP or so. We are talking about the National Assembly. Because we expect the National Assembly to give us laws, Melialonko, Lual Melialonko, Ibe Banco Dulu Makoela, Lual Melialonko, Ibe Banco Sambala Kuke. But if you look, you see, the National Assembly is not doing that. And then there are policies, Melialonko. I am disappointed that there are a lot of policies, Melialonko, and those policies are not complete. Complete.
Constituency development.
Yes, that phone maker D. The policy is not detailed. The policy should be detailed, like what you said. CDF. It is CDF. Saying CDF development. But every month they are giving you money.
Developing people's stomach.
Hey, developing people's stomach for what? Hey, no, I am telling you. Let me tell you, it's not a development. It's not a development. It's not a development. You know, the National Assembly of this country. You see, the National Assembly
allocate me now for development. Man, boto fana ndiadi mola fana manna faso.
Please, no, talking. I will be there because you move me along. It really touches my heart. You see, let me tell you something, Sait Matty. For example, you see, the policies are not much completed. For example, that CDF, a member of parliament. A member of parliament, you have, your ward councillor Lesotho. And these ward councillors, they are there to do development. You understand? Normally, deputy all of doko monkey development at some point. Yeah. Doko, no. You are, the law does not, law man tanaje prove the dibilo itaka doko okay. Law it is cement yamina puruka law can know that. So law can know that dibite bunkono. Nia tara dibite bunkom be fenne landila me alonko puruko me dibito puru development kela wo ela tundola. Saying ela councilor say work with your councilor. But some of these people you cannot detail their councilors doesn't know nothing about it. Let me just intervene here. No, that is the normal procedure. For example, nathan in kodoka dinito la direct. Enyanta min kelano, enyanta di la council because wale ni molbe doko la direct. Okay? Not the National Assembly members. However, bari enyim fenkol faline buka kodo di National Assembly member la sign. What they do is, it'll have to mean develop la. Ila constituent as article. No, just let me come. Ekada supply. No, don't be you coming call for it. I'm just trying to help them too because they are here.
Okay, let's clarify this.
Explain. I want to clarify.
What you're saying is right.
No, it's right. They don't get this money directly.
The point is not physical money. No. His point is this. If you are a National Assembly member, there is time for you to come up with a project based on the need of your people. Your project of fairness, your proposal of fairness to the National Assembly, go and bring the invoices and the performance and whatnot. Bring it to the accounts department. They are able to pay the supplier instead of the for example. You also
yes.
What he is saying, there is a policy weakness in this. If you bring the committee that made you National Assembly member to come and say, okay, this is what we need. What is wrong with you? Said wherever Sait is coming from, Sait is part of a development committee that has councillors, has the National Assembly members, and local expertise that will come every 6 months or every year to gauge what really the long-term development plans of this constituency is. And this is coming from the experts. But how they do it is simple. It will like a fund with their committee.
Yeah, that's my point.
Explain.
That is my point. For people who are also watching to understand directly. Like for example, it is for like minna. Ekara supply layer. Nadi ikawole jo direct. Not you. Just let me come. But you understand? So saying the reason why they are not going to work with these people, some of them, because they also deal with these suppliers. Like that's how that's how it works. But come on, look at it directly. Okay, that is the point.
Directly, they still
exactly yes.
And they do no development.
Let me land this now. Let me land this now. No, let me land this now. Ibe damen fo kanten comme ka di kansul wosi kenole bari yaron comme membe jedro mbe gambia lo nyuna le protocol wali yore bentema nintemu MPP dipito itebe duma itemu UDP kansul wala UDP dipito ne development for no diar ata dila kansul la même MPP kansul then you work together you understand wo badia tentema you see yajal e kay ndam da foten this point ni ino wala nan ko dibito ila do ko na do ko kanyama na dibito do ko kanyama I am telling you if we na tara ndamu UDP the law will compel me because the law and the police in the men that will compel me can make sure ko kajeko because you know why I say it needs to go to the councillors. It's not directly to the council. The councillor is only a care in that committee. World Development Committee, the councillor is just the chairman there. But World Development Committee comprises members from each village, and this village committee, the village committee, you know, you have VDC. The VDC will like a representative sent to the World Development Committee, and that at the World Development Committee there, that's where Sate Ban go over technology. It's a new soul movement. They put it together. Well, I mean, neither local government you need to have a World Development Plan. I understand. But I understand. Okay, so
you are being theoretical.
Yeah. So saying. I understand your point. But I understand your point. It's okay.
Hold on 1 second.
It's okay. Yeah.
You are being theoretical here. Yes. If you want to be honest and deal with the realities, right? I agree with Talibo that you know, in a perfect system, you are there, you get the fund. It's not about politics, it's about the people.
Exactly.
But our realities, we all know. Everybody wants to score political points. As if you're the NPP, the councillor is a UDP, you don't even try to work. Tell me which constituency has different political parties from everywhere, and you see them walking and celebrating the achievements, the glories together, and disregard politics completely. It's not happening. And that's why we need to work on. Our realities don't provide for that. And what Bojan said is perfect, depending if we put politics aside after elections and know the development has to do with everybody, regardless of who you support and where you belong. That is not our reality. But let's face the current reality and deal with it.
If you're talking about, look, if you're telling me the current realities, I am telling you, the current reality is made by us. That is what we need to understand.
I agree.
I agree with you. And I am saying, that those realities stay is because the members of the parliament are not doing the right job. Because let me tell you something. You know, there is whatever. There is a consequence on everything we did. Let's say, for example, if I violate the law, for example, there is somewhere else where people should go. The violation of law we did.
Are there consequences when people violate the law?
No. Can
is laws of this land. Your own council,
Yes.
they are laws set, but the laws are not favorable with the governance of the council.
Yes.
Are you not guys bypassing the law and doing things that you think is going to run the council?
Yes, but chairman,
we are not bypassing any law. We are not bypassing any law.
Okay.
We make sure whatever we do, we are going by the law. We make sure that it's going by the law. So when you are talking about politics, you understand? Don't politics look command if I'm
Okay,
so that happened.
Can you listen now? Okay, Silent Weber. I understand Bayo's point, and he has a point. Taliban also has a point.
He has no point. He has no point.
When he said core, for example, I will call like if you are NPP, in UDP, just let me come. But all of you are point. Okay, sign. I will call put in NPP councilor doko. But it's not point me to let me indicate natural luale bije. Me along ko abe forcer la le purina do ko ke wolwale mantaraje. That is also your point.
So loi bije ni loi bije ima la fi pour que loi norma understand nga ita norma parce que buba how many lawyers are in this country and people violate it and nothing happens.
But with that Janika Kodo dealer the law is dictating on what to do. I think he has a point there.
Let me tell you something.
No, it's okay, sir. Let's move on.
I'll empower them in one side. There is a law. For example, I'm telling you, for example, the 25% subvention.
It's law.
It's already a law that government have to subvent that amount of money to the councils. That is already there. But now, you see, government have been flouting that law for many years. And I'm telling you.
And where is the consequences?
No. I go to the court. I am telling you, come 2025, you will see a different angle in that. I'm not contradicting myself. I'm not contradicting about the realities. I'm not contradicting myself there. I am telling you. Go. Okay, there and let people I am telling you. You went to the court.
Can we listen to this? Okay. Thank you, Talibo. Just 1 minute, Boja. You want to say something?
Yeah, what I wanted to say is, in the Gambia, year in, year out, we see regional-based organizations, community-based organizations. Like, for example, let's take a case in point, let's say FAD in Fonyi. You know, I think these organizations, they are apolitical. But when it comes to development, they need to be really, really engaging. For example, if you go to the Local Government Act, you have development and planning under the purview of the local government. Now you realize that there are structural establishments, mainly along development official and whatsoever. I think what he is saying is a point. But the community-based organizations should begin to hold account the people and organizations that bring development to their places or that are giving things to take to their places, to engage them. Now, if, for example, the law is not there, but let's say FAD has a development office and said, okay, in Fonyi, the government gives us, they try. Every year, we get 22,500,000, the entire Fonyi, for development. But it's not coordinated, including what the councillors are giving. So that coordination, Hegna, the community-based organizations, even though it's not a law, can put pressure on the elected representatives to work together so that it will broker that thing. That, okay, now development is not coming from us as representatives, but we have organizations, let's say, for example, FAD, Melialo, they come up with this agenda, let's have it consultative. Then we'll be able to get that 22 million and put it somewhere, even if the law is not there.
It's not there. Thank you so much. Do you have anything to respond to what they say?
No, for me, I mean, I'm a civil society, so I'm just enjoying the I'm not going to
but even you are a civil society, I mean, some of these things may well focus.
I'm a civil society, but also somebody interested in politics. But I'm just seeing how you, but mostly, is places where you agree. And I think the Constituency Development Fund, I think conversation, we went all the way to that. What is the amount?
500,000 per year.
500,000. What can 500,000 do, for instance, in a ward in a ward?
It's not even a ward, constituency.
It's
constituency.
It's for constituency development.
Yeah.
So each constituency, how many wards do you have there?
Like in Council, you have
You said how much? What amount do you
42
mention?
No, he said 500,000.
Two wards, 42 villages.
Yeah, 42 villages, 2 wards.
Yes.
So you have to, so for councillor, for instance, given that 5 years constituency development fund, one can look at how they can bring that about. But what he's saying also is important, because development, the way that this country is designed, is that even development that is coming from the central government must also go through,
Filter down.
yeah, through the
bottom.
local government, especially when it's to get to the village. That's
But
why you have.
because of politics, that is not happening.
Yeah. So, but for us, that's why we are interested in what is the law saying.
Yes.
That this is the way. That's why even VDCs exist.
Yes.
VDCs are supposed to be the entry point for all this development and all those things. But the thing is, there is this agreement. If I look at this side, look at that side, there's this agreement. But the people, all they want is development. How do we bring development? Is the political leadership. If needs to be, they need to know that the politics is different, and they need to bring that in line. Why is it that today, almost every day, you hear BAC and KMC against the central government? The people that suffer is us. That's why I say, I remind you that I'm from civil society. So the ones that suffer is us. You can do your politics at the other level, but the people that suffer is us. But what is the law saying in terms of development? That's what we have to follow.
Yes.
And then it has to come from there, and then it pass through to the local, all the way from
And
the
who are the
local
people
government.
making the law?
And when you're talking about local government, sir, Birkam Area Council is the local government overall. But you have wards, you have also village, and the village at the village level, people have power at the village level. Anything that is supposed to come to the village, the village is supposed to have a say in that. But so many things are happening, the villagers don't even know what they just bring them development. Oh, this is development. That's why some of this development cannot last. Because the minute you leave, the people forget it with you. So how do you engage the people? And I think that's the conversation that they are having. You know, you need to start it from them. You know, and then at the end of the day, he was talking about the bottom up, even though my Mandinka is still 0.1. But when you speak, I do hear. He was talking about that development needs to be bottom up. But we need to also remember the top. That it doesn't just bottom direct, but if it get to the top also must come down. And the way the top comes down, it has to go to the bottom as well, in terms of that engagement.
No,
so for me, I feel like
I don't
misunderstand.
you know, overall there's an agreement, but the positioning is also the difference that I'm listening, that I'm hearing. But government and local government must work together if we want to enjoy development.
Everywhere that what happened for development to happen.
In certain communities, like I used to live in Norway, Bergen is a communa, something it has, I don't understand their system, but it does certain laws by itself. It creates laws, it makes money on its own, things that goes on, you know, and that's very similar here. We have also things that are very similar here. That's why this local government, we are just not putting it in practice. But quite a lot of very progressive
there are a lot of progressive laws in there.
This Afrobarometer, Nagala starting, how do you people start it?
Yes, so I cannot remember 99, but Atlantic one, but it started in 1999. And
in Gambia.
Yeah, in Gambia it started in 2018 actually. But if you talk about Afrobarometer, it started in 1999. Okay. But in Gambia it started in 2018, and 2018 this came following the change of government. We changed government in 2016, 17, and so 2018. From 2017, Munnawa, but the first survey was done in 2018 because we started coming to the country and having that. So, but for Afrobarometer to go to a country, that country must show signs of changes. Bena, there's a freedom for people like today. All of us, different political parties, different engagement, different point of view, but sitting here discussing. So that's one of the considerations, that people must be free to respond to our questions, because some questions, is some of it that they're very political. And so outside that, there must be latest sensors, data, you know, because we use our national census frames in Indonesia, they use them to do our sampling. And then there should be another one, is a national partner. You know, most research institutions before they were not, but recently since the change of government, quite a number of research institutions have been here. Cyprus is here, Nyangsana Institute, quite a number growing, which is also very part of the conditions for Afrobarometer Nyofi. So we've been doing the survey from 2018, then we did 2021, then 2022, and this year, last year, 2024, which makes it 4 rounds. So we're just 4 rounds of Afrobarometer.
Oh, but dama bëgg daal nga do wax all of that, or maybe so if you can try, but because you've already did this, you've already speak about this in English, so in other platform, but here if you will actually do it in all of, or maybe so that, because so that suma maam bu nekk si kaw moom tamit
waaw dina mën a onda suma olof bi moom sax is problematic, talk less of my
no mën a try, but at least local language that, please.
So yes. So basically ñun comme lu ma doon wax rek moo nekk ne ñun fi ñëw in 2018 la Afrobarometer commencé di liggéey si Gambia, and so gisee ñuy liggéey si Gambia at that time, man 2014 I was doing survey, waaye survey bu ma doon def boobu pour Gallup poll la. Gallup nag is an international boobu moom they are all over the countries, so ñoom they are not like meluñ ñi comme Afrobarometer. Afrobarometer ñun suñ collecté data daf dee nekk public data, waaye Gallup ñoom like a business lifin la, so ñoom seen data bi ñoom ñoo ko moom ba pare government daf leen dee engage. So 2014 I tried that, waaye mënut a nekk because environment bi was not free, amutoon that freedom. So moo tax bu ñu ñëwee 2018 lu ma doon wax rek si English mooy ne dafa war a am conditions, ñetti condition la Afrobarometer dee seet pour dem si benn réew. Benn moo nekk ne nit yi dinañ am bu gën a important mooy ne nit yi am nañ that freedom, maanaam fiix nañ freedom, xaw ma naka lañ ko dee ooyee.
fierté pour wax seen xalaat
comme am nañ seen fierté pour wax seen xalaat moom seen bopp ak yooyu noonu yëpp nga xam ne dinañ mun a comme lu ñu leen laaj duñ si seet duñ xool seen gannaaw ne kenn naa ngee ñëw mu danaa déglu wala not. Then the third one mooy affaire yi nga am census frame boo xam ne di nga mun a def sa sampling boobu usually si Gambia Bureau of Statistics lañ dee depend on. So Afrobarometer daf dee depend on all the 42 countries yu ñu nekk si Africa, dañ dee depend on the census frames of this National Census Institute. And third point bi comme lu mu doon wax rek mooy ne da nga require a national partner, comme national partner maanaam research institution ñoo xam ne ñu ngi si biir dëkk bi boo xam ne ñu liggéeya. So moo tax ñu ne Afrobarometer network la, waaye comme ñun national partner yi ñun ñoo make up that network mu nekk Afrobarometer.
So is it true that da ngeen ko bëggoon a start Jammeh's time and it was rejected?
No, boobu xam nga time Jammeh man bu ñu ma arresté in 2014 a lot of people stopped doing research. Maybe they were looking at that, but every time they were hearing ne dëkk bi was dictatorship. So if they are aware, am na yenn dëkk yu bëri yoo xam ne gis nañ ne dëkk bi dictatorship la, they are not going there, they cannot be mënuñoo dem si dëkk yooyu noonu. So but bii nii ñun lu ñu xam ba leer moo nekk 2018 was the first time, and I think ne lii moo nekkoon na time boo xam ne dëkk bi mu ngi doon open up. Mu ngi doon open up maanaam mbir yaa ngi doon freedom baa ngi doon gën a dugg si. Yeah, but 2014 the only problem bu ñu amoon mooy Gallup bi, and then that one I was arrested, dem naa si mile 2, dem naa si NIA 1 week. Enjoy naa gis naa tamit xam nga ñun gëstukat yi tamit sometimes you know it's important ñu dem si place yooyu tamit pour gis even though nekku suñ coobare, but we end up there and it taught us a lot of lessons, good lessons. Moo tax tey ba tey you know we just believe in what we did since then, and so we continue.
Right, so this year xam naa dem ngeen survey yu bari, waaye this time naka ngeen conduct this last survey bi ngeen def, how was it conducted?
Suñ surveys yi across the continent fi ko defee rek benn méthode la. Méthode bi mooy ne is national representative, maanaam dañ dee ñu dee laajteel askan bi lañ dee waxal. So saa yu nekk suñ dee waxal askan bi dañ dee fekk seen kër yi ñu def what we call face to face survey. And face to face mooy nga toog ma toog ñu waxtaan. Am na different form of surveys ak Afrobarometer sax fii test nañ ko Gambia mooy téléphone survey boo xam ne damaa nekk fii waaye gisuma ku ma waxal gisuloo you know xaw ma lu ma wax. So ñun nag dañ dee def face to face, and face to face nga toog ma laaj la question then nga respond then ma document that. Why we do face to face lu tax ñuy def face to face tamit mooy ne comme su team bi nekkee si dëkk bi dañ dee mun a record yeneen developments yoo xam ne nii duñ pour ñu laaj kenn. Mun na ñëw record ndax dëkk bi am na yoon wala am na access to police station, am na lii, because loolu tamit daf dee mun a wane development. So ñun duñ dee really am na ñu dee bind si paper yooyu noonu, waaye ñun we have not released those kind of data boo xam ne tey dinañ la wax ne even internet connection ndax yaa ngi ko am, because those are things that luñ dee jéem a seet. So dañ dee interview people ñoo xam ne they are 18 and above. 18 years, the voting age. Koo xam ne qualify na pour am vote, you are likely, you know, mun nga am that likelihood ne mun nañ la interview. So most of the question bu ñu dee gën a laaj mooy ne 2 million Gambians. Lu tax léegi ngeen dee laajte 1,200 rek.
Exactly, so I was coming to ask that.
Yes. So ñu laajte 1,200 waaye moo tax ma ne la ñun sample lañ dee def. Census ñu dee count everybody. ñun suñ méthode bi dafa am benn méthode la sampling la moo base. parce que Gambian ni 1200 boobu soo gisee Gambian la so ñun lu ñoo def rek mooy ne sampling frame bi suñ ko setee obe every Gambian has the opportunity to be included in the survey waaw ñëpp so léegi out of that all Gambians léegi ñun dañoo jël 1200 den ñu laajte gars yi lan moo nekk seen gis-gis Gambian bu ñoo jël benn dañoo dëkk si kër dañoo dëkk si household dëkk nañ si koñ xam nañ lan moo nekk di dox so jàng nga jàngaloo you have an experience of the country so ñun seetuñ ndax yow lii mooy sa level of education wala moo tax gars yi bu ñu doon debate on the educational level even though it's not clear for me maa doon dégg that kind of conversation waaye ñun suñ survey bi duñ dee xool loolu moo tax soo xoolee luñ dee gën a bàyyi xel rek mooy ne am nañ 50% men ak 50% women so lu si des ne kii dem na school demul school loolu si sampling frame bi suñ duggee see ni ñu ko samplee suñ demee loolu da nga gis ne yu bëri daf dee reflect yeah so da ngaa gis ne sampling bi basically loolu la ba pare sampling lu ma dee explain in the more local term mooy comme tey ma jël coffee ma def fa sukur maay seet na saf na sukur wala safut sukur so and su ma seet na coffee bi saf na I just take a spoon ma jël spoon bi loolu laay tiba ñun lu ñoo def mooy nekk lu ndaw luñ tiba si kuddu bi noonu so loolu nu moo testé ak kaasi coffee boo bàyyi foofu usually I use domada waaye kaasi coffee boo teg foofu noonu lu ndaw loo tiba ak di same lu nekk si kaas bi yëpp benn la moom I think that's the best example boo xam ne mun naa joxe lan moo nekk sample.
So is it true Congo rek ngeen dee def or da ngeen dee dem provinces or is nationwide?
It's nationwide.
Then how do you select these villages that you go to? Da ngeen dee def foofu
bi is a statistical so man suma boppa nekkuma sample la. So ñun suñu dee def sample dañoo wax ne comme Afrobarometer ñëw nañ ñu ne 1200 people lañ soxla lañ bëgg a interviewal so dañ dee dem Jibos ñu ne leen ok we want to li mu nekk suñu survey bi li dañ bëgg a def so dañ bëgg a ngeen drawal ñu sample and when they draw the sample for us then they already have the national frame from 2024 sample bi they did the frame in listing ñoom list nañ dëkk bi yëpp so xam nañ ñaata kii la fi nekk xam nañ all those different stuff so ñun frame boobu la ñoo use then gars yi defaral ñu suñu sample pour ñu am 1200 so da ngay am different levels so da ngay am at the national level where everybody you know dañ la day include then from there I move down to the different stages so demee léegi si communities from the the national level then gars yi tànnal la sa EA si ñu ne la léegi enumeration area si soo déggee EA mooy enumeration area so Jibos dañ dëkk bi yëpp dañ ko divide comme IEC nu mu defee into constituency Jibos tamit noonu la ñu defee ñun ñëpp into enumeration area at least foog naa bu nekk da nga dee am 500 people ñoo xam ne ñoo fa dëkk so léegi mun nañoo jox enumeration areas yooyu noonu so ñun léegi suñ team bi ñu ñëw train nañ leen on the questionnaire for 5 days ne nii nga war a laajte question bi nii la ñu align ko but before that dañ dee translate questionnaires into the local languages so ñu dañ dee use 4 major local languages that is Mandinka Fula Wolof and Jola and English boo xam ne ñeneen ñi they prefer to be asked in English and suñu defee loolu den ñoo xam ne train nañ leen ñu dañoo dem si community si léegi tey su ma ñëwee fii nii Bruce bi léegi damaa ñëw soo ñëw Bruce bi dañ la dee wax but before that dañ dee jël maps from Jibos because FEAC yëpp dafa am maapam waaw moo tax this year soo gisee census bi gën a gaaw sax Jibos dañ digitalize almost everything moo tax ñun dañ xamuñ leen lañ am in terms of Jibos so based on those maps léegi team bu nekk dañ dee am 5 people so ñu am team leader bi ak 4 enumerators yi and suñu déggee si community bi team leader bi joobam moo nekk pour mu supervise.
Please take his phone from there, please.
waaw mooy mu supervise everybody. and then da ngaa gis enumerators yi ñoom seen job mooy ñu dugg si compense yi di laajte so even suñu demee si biir community. boobu tamit am na beneen façon sampling bu fa dee dem as part of the broader sampling. so léegi suñu duggee si community bi for instance ñu dem Bijilo dañoo wane look for a landmark bi could be a mosque it could be something loo xam ne is identifiable. then nga xool 4 people lañ am so keneen ki dafa dem east mu demee ndeyjoor keneen ki demee càmmoñ. keneen ki demee towards the sun keneen ki demee back of the sun so is these 4 cardinal points nit yi noonu lañ leen dee séparé so then léegi ñu ne la soo demee si loolu noonu from that is the starting point nga xam ne yow léegi yow ñun 4 yi ñoo fa nekk yow da ngaa jaar nii kii jaar ne la kii kële jaar ne la so supervisor bi lu mu ko dee sant pour mu def mooy mu collectal ñu EA information lu ñu dee ooyee EA information comme lu ma doon explain ndax EA bi am na police station ndax am na roads ndax am na ay water comme yooyu noonu yëpp dañ ko dee laajte pour xam EA boobu development level am bi fan la toolu then suñ move from there so léegi ñii ñëpp ku nekk dem na si sa direction bi nga war a dem so ku nekk léegi comme Afrobarometer we count 5 households so léegi soo ñëwee da ngaa ñëw count 1 household 2 household 3 household 4 households nga dugg si fourth compound bi comme fifth compound bi.
Fifth one.
yes so foofu soo fa duggee yéen mun naa nekk rental place su nekkee rental place nga laajte ne ñu ne la rental place da nga dee continuer di count tamit ba nga am di household bi nga war a am soo amee household boobu then nga laajte list of people ñoo xam ne am nañ 18 and above ñoo xam ne ñu ngi si biir household boobu so ñooñu léegi suñ la joxee based on that yaa ngi ko dugal ñun tablette lañ dee use so based on the fact ne dugal nga tur yooyu noonu yëpp si biir tablette bi then tablette bi daf dee def random selection mu select kenn te ku tele su fekkee ne léegi dañ ñëw fii nii ngeen ne ñii ñëpp ñoo nekk si household bi te am nañ 18 te tablette bi select si first interview bi laa nekk di wax tablette bi select neene so neene laay interview su fekkee ne neene dafa dem marché dañoo wax ne dañoo xaar neene ba mu ñëw du neene because neene nekku fi rek ñu ne ok nañ forget neene dañ ñu dem si gajigo we don't do that so léegi neene la ñoo xaar ba neene egsi ñu waxaa moom su fekkee ne neene dina waxaa ak ñun ñu continuer su fekkee ne du waxaa ak ñun tamit nag ñu move waaye su ñëwee ñu ne dem na marché ñu ne kañ la moo ñëw ñu ne 1 hour ñu ñëwaat in 1 hour neene ñëwut ñu ñëwaat ba 3 times you know based on the time bu ñu jox we move to the other house ba pare dañoo continuer di count wala yeneen mu nga koo bàyyi nga dem defi sa liggéey ba pare nga ñëwaat nga finish that because it's already been one koo xam ne loolu nga select so comme lu ma doon wax rek ñun luñ gën a am soo si kër bi dañoo laaj ni ki yow la moo nekk sa liggéey yow yaa ñëw war a war sa liggéey ñun we are not interested in your job we are not interested in your education level xam nañ ne góor la jigéen so first one bi def nañ neene so next month génnaatee si compound boobu damaa countaat 5 1 2 3 4 5 in other places dañ nekk 10 interval waaye ñun because of suñ size because dañ ko dee def lifin 5 yeneen yi dañ ko dee def 10 waaye yeneen yi mun ngaa dem si benn comme si rural community si they are clustered villages comme ñu ngi doon war wards yi ak yooyu noonu so EAC da ngaa gis ne different villages la so yooyu tamit day sa way yoo xam ne noonu nga ko dee selecté so ñun lu ñu def moo nekk ne as long as the Gambians yëpp boole nañ leen si benn frame léegi suñu demee si field bi everybody has an opportunity koo xam ne to be selected first opportunity bi mooy ne ndax sa EEA bi EEAC they are based on location the location bi dinañ ko select suñ selecté Josuwang for instance Josuwang am na so many EEAs yu fa nekk the EEAs yooyu tamit select nañ ko Bakaw suñu waxee Bakaw rek nekkul ne everywhere in Bakaw ngay dem Bakaw dañ leen random sample
and EA means
enumeration area comme foo xam ne foofu ngay dem di laajte nit yi so xam naa ne you know so basically this is the way that we do it step by step
so okay last one bi what are the findings lan moo fa génn
waaw so ñun we have you know it's good tamit may explain loolu parce que ñun Afrobarometer suñ questionnaire bi rek can spend 1 hour plus just respond ngay respond rek dinañ la laaj affaire yi sa am dinañ la laaj sa gis-gis si réew mi nu mu nekk di demee so many other questions 100 questions or more than 100 even sa ethnicity affaire yi politique su elections waroon a xam électé nga ko ndax last election bi fair na fairwut so fu sañu laajte boo xelaat rek dañ dee try pour laajte ko so but suñu laajtee dafa bëri so duñ ko mën a génnee benn yoon imagine léegi ñu génnee report of 100 questions people will not even know what to follow and what not to follow so moo tax ñun the strategy buñ dee def mooy ne dañ dee release per base waaw piecemeal release on topics and all yooyu noonu ba pare suñ dee def suñ questionnaire yi it's important tamit ma clarify ñun dëkk bu nekk dañ leen dee jox this opportunity pour ñu add 5 questions and 5 questions yooyu noonu boobu those are called local questions waaye ñun tey general question bi when we ask Gambia nu ñu la laajee Gambia Sénégal ku nekk di def Afrobarometer Sénégal loolu la moo laajte Sénégalais yi loolu la moo laajte Guinée Bissau loolu la moo laajte Nigeria loolu la moo laajte Mali the only thing lu ñu laajte mooy comme what we call the country specific questions and ñun country specific questions yi ni ñu ko dee isee mooy comme tey bu yàggut first lifin bu ñu release mooy on the constitution and then you know we talk about the laws they need to change law waaye ñun dañ laajoon nit yi because debate daf doon am whether we should bring back the 2020 constitution or the you know or foofu la nekkoon that time the government did not bring this 2024 constitution so people those were one of the first things we released and then people wanted a new constitution they want the constitution to be taken back to the National Assembly and I think at one point we had that conversation when you were on a different TV so in that way you know so release nañ boobu noonu you know then from there release nañ affaire yi migration release nañ on even transitional justice on truth commission because those are local issues yoo xam ne release nañ ko but latest one bu ñu release is also on economic conditions economic conditions soo ko déggee mooy the conditions of the people feeling in terms of their economic well-being ak naka lañ gisee the broader economic condition of the country, and that's why I think because of the economic condition, what you this
debate
we make it out because economy is very important,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Lola. So in terms of the findings, they likely about the direction of the country, and majority 77%. They feel that the country is going in the wrong direction. While there are other people, almost 23%, that feel that the country is going in the right direction. And one of the things that I keep reminding people, so whole chart when you that line is going down now, even though it's at 77, but in 2021 it was 79%. When you based on the report when from 2018, because I'm not baseline data in 2018, and we can compare it to 2024, there has been a 48% increment point. Come the country was going in the wrong direction in 2018, were less than compared to right now. So outside that, what is the economic condition of the country? What they think about that? Whether the country's economic condition, almost equal number said that. But about their own personal living condition. And I think for must remember that number, because I don't think people are talking about that. Because numbers are critical. So people also assessing that. And if you look at that assessment, people's personal economic condition, evaluation of country's economic condition, you want a 77%, you want a fairly bad or very bad. But when you look at people's own economic condition, in 2018, 66% their economic condition was very good, fairly good or very good. But this has declined from 2021, Mungi declined to 35%, Mugina declined in 2022 to 32%. Then now in 2024%, in 2024 is climbing again to 36%. So 2024, 2018 the country was fairly bad, but 57% the country is fairly bad. But lolu soko compare with the previous year, is a decline. So what I'm saying, we won't need to look at the survey ñu mun ko ana ba pare laaj nañ tamit gars in terms of mun naa waxee just the findings yëpp bala next question bi laajte nañ gars about what we call the retrospective and prospective assessment of economic conditions from 12 months before this period bala ñoo def survey bi and ñu ngi def survey bi between April ak May 2024 and that's why it's very important tamit ñu fàttali nit yi the period bi ñu ko defee ñu leen before this 12 months naka woon economic condition of the country, and majority of the people, economic condition compared to 12 months ago is worse or much worse. That is 70%. Then you lache tamit economic condition in 12 months time. So then lache past 12 months ak legi lache 12 months ahead. So ñu wax ne it will be worse is also 59%. But tamit nga whole people ñoo xam ne they are hopeful. Now, this economic condition will be better off. We would have increased by 23% compared to 18% from the previous period. But within this economic condition, then there are different questions. But then is it what they consider the most important problems? Lo hamne tay askan bi lolou lañ buga government bi topato wala address. And healthcare mo nekk number 1. Wax nañ ne depuis 2018 danaka mo nekk di lead. And in 2018 it was 33%. Léegi nag dem na ba 55%. And that is like every 10 Gambian yoo jël almost 60 bëgg nañ government prioritize healthcare. But question B is important pour ma clarify. So suñ dee laajte most important problems yi because nit yi seen problems yi dafa bëri. So waaye dañ dee pick 3 most important problems yoo xam ne nit yi loolu la ñu dee jox. So soo gisee aggregate yi nii du eega 100 or du nekk pie chart waaye dina la mun a wan directions of nit yi lan moo nekk seen main interest. Then increased cost of living. Bobo, this is the first time you laajte ko. Nit yi wax nañ ne dëkk bi mu ngi gën a seer. Increased cost of living is a problem boo xam ne bëgg nañ government address ko. Crime and security. Bobo, it was 14% in 2018. Now it's 34%. So it becomes one of the priorities. More than you know on health, increasing cost of living, and crime and security are the 3 top problems you Gambians bëgg send government address. But it's not up to that. Water supply in 2018 it was 31%. Even though still today is a priority, but there has been a decline. And what is that decline? Maybe is boreholes are being constructed, so Lulu is declined, but it's still a priority. So it was from 31% to 17%. Education was also 31%
to 17%.
Wow. So 17% in terms of So 31% in 2018.
Need.
Yes, they say that it was a priority in 2018. So you now
Declined to 17%.
Now, as a priority now, water supply is declining.
Okay.
Why? Then the question for me, Monica, what water supply decline? Is it because the Nitiange and water supply on that?
Or priorities have changed.
Or priorities have changed. But water is a major. At some point, it was even number one. And so in different, and at that point, different surveys when we divided, and they especially rural communities, they used to talk about water a lot because water farming and all that. He was talking about borehole drilling, because which is very critical. So now education tamit has gone down from 21% to 16%, and that could be contributed. Come in your point to things that are likely to contribute. Maybe there is more classroom being built, more access, which is critical. Infrastructure, roads. It was a priority, 21%, legi dem na to 16%. So it means that everybody is seeing that infrastructure. And farming and agriculture, dem na as a priority from 21% to 16%. Electricity, 24 to 16%. Unemployment, 28 to 15%. Food shortage from 22% to 15%. Management of the economy from 17% to 18%. As important, they are still, so 10 top problems. These are the list. These are the top 10 problems you Gambians want their government to address. But then we can prioritize this third term. At the bottom, more management of the economy. It's also very interesting. Management of the economy, food shortage, unemployment. But at the top, health, increase in cost of living, So in that also, Latin guy, what they call the positive assessment of government economic performance, in terms of how well or badly has the government performed in terms of this economy. And from in managing the economy, 59%, on the most important problem was managing of the economy, which was the last. We asked them about managing the economy. In 2018, it was 59%. Say the government was doing well in managing the economy. That dropped by 27%. In 2021, legi mungi 15%. So the rating, they rate government positively in terms of their performance in economy. In performing the economy is 15%. So from 59% to 15% in 2020. Yes, it has decreased. This is the positive. Yeah. So I'm 47% for improving living standard of the poor. It has decreased from 47% to 11% now. I'm creating jobs, 42% to 9% now. Keeping prices stable, 38% to 3% now. Narrowing gaps between rich and poor from 38% to 6 percentage point. So these are the things you have on the economic side. But then in our release, we included another graph. We'll talk about performance, leaders' performance, which was very important, and that's where we also councillors here. So you did buy Ken. So we have But before that, we'll ask people: was it better or worse under President Barrow? In large question, and this was part of what we call the country-specific question. Bena, freedom of speech. Was it better or worse under President Barrow? 80% is better under President Barrow. 80%, that is like 8 out of 10 Gambians. Youth participation in politics, 69% is better under President Barrow. Women's participation in politics, is better in President Barrow, that is 67%. Government respect for human rights, is better. That is almost 7 out of 10 Gambians, 65%, is better under President Barrow. Preservation and law and order, 55%, is better. Gender-based violence, some of those issues that are better. So gender-based violence, we saw 43%. Rural, urban inequality, they are divided. Almost 36% say it's better, 34% say it's worse. But peace and security in the country, they mark that bad. It was better, it's worse under President Barrow. That is peace and security in the country, that is 68%. But then in terms of leaders' performance, in terms of the positive, even though President Bilengena ranked as most performing leader, with 36%, I'm 62%. You have the disapproved performance. I'm local government next. 34% approve 30% approve their performance. 60% disapprove of their performance. And at the bottom, you have the National Assembly. Only 31% approve guys send performance, while 65% ñu ngi disapprove. And I think that was very good when I started topic B.
I
said this is, National Assembly, when people were talking, I said maybe this is also reflected on the broader conversation in terms of that. But these views on leaders' performance is very critical, because Tamit is also issues of perception. But last, Lifin Bumabuga share, before we get into this, the personal living conditions, then could break on down into rural, urban, no formal education, primary, secondary, post-secondary education, and people that are high-live poverty. You have the same poverty level, because poverty levels. So there are people that are experience poverty extremely, and they are feeling poverty at the low level, and they are not feeling poverty at all. So we also look at that, and that is based on reported that am nañ télé am nañ telephone, those basic things yoo xam ne dafa wane nit ki amam loolu lañ dee use. So if you look at it in terms of personal living conditions, ñu wax ne seen personal living conditions yi question bu ñu laajte in general, how would you describe your own present living condition? So own present living condition 57%. So xoolee in terms of the rural urban, those that say fairly badly or very badly is 57% across the nation. While so whole rural urban, rural is more pronounced in the rural communities. That their personal living condition is going badly by 67% compared to 49% more negative urban area. While so whole the positive side, you have work fairly goodly. Maybe Fufula ko wara reporte. You work goodly, nga hamne mo gonna make sense. 43% in the urban area, you know, life is fairly good compared to 27% in the rural community. So livelihood is better off in urban area than in the rural community. So this is not a survey only for government, but for ñu ñoo xamne ñu fi ñu bëri ñoo xamne suñu ci rural communities lañ joggé, and now we are here is also important pour ñu mëna pay attention. And ñu wax ne no formal education, ñoo xamne dañ am post secondary education. Sen life is better off than ñoo xamne they say they have no formal education. So we compare 62% of people with post secondary education, you know, their life is on the good trajectory compared to 27% ñoo xamne is on the other side. But for Monica highest. But no live poverty tamit, they are not suffering from poverty. The direction of the personal living condition has improved from 56%. We compare that with the person that is living high live poverty, then the situation is fairly badly, very badly, and that is 72%. And last one more assessment of government. And usually, you know, this is very critical in terms of wow. No, yeah, assessment of government, but this one more new one. Why the current discussion? React in terms of the economy. So whole fee management of the roads and bridges. Number one of people government believe. So people are aware that government is building bridges, is building roads. And how well or badly would you say the current government is handling the following matters, or haven't you had enough? So who says fairly well or very well, look at Fini. So managing roads and bridges, almost half of the population accept that the government is doing well when it comes to
roads and bridges.
Road and bridges. Providing electricity, supply of electricity, 42%. Then addressing the educational needs, 37%. Providing water and sanitation services, 35%. Even though they are low, why these are recognizable progress you have the young connected, you know, and that's why if you look at the management on the most important problems, some of these things were going down. You know, infrastructure was going down, so you know, some of those things were going down. But where they are doing poorly, more keeping prices stable, and that is the lowest. You know, and that is 3%. Narrowing gaps between rich and poor, that is 6%, and then creating jobs 9%. This is where people rated government lowly, and these are also very different when it comes to rural and urban area. So whole urban area, the most important problems are agriculture, infrastructure, water supply. Wi-Fi is mostly the cost of living, health, things you have that people want to spend. So in a nutshell, the Afrobarometer.
This is the report. So we have covered the entire report.
Oh yes.
The government are not agreeing with this. They got a recent statement.
Yes, I look at the statement. I saw the headline. It was saying rejection, but when I look at the statement inside, I did not see any rejection. I see, you know, of course, in Sunday the survey, people will have a different way of saying it. You know, they and for politicians, you know, same gis mom is proposing.
Yeah.
You know, which we don't even bother ourselves to integrate or even say that. So, but Madam Rebuga explained on it in a commune. We are so in one side. We are not the government. You know, we are asking the people what their what their experiences are, and that's what we are reporting back. So how government see it? Government will see it in a way. Well, we are doing all these investments in healthcare, in education. You know, they go around talk about that, and now, but the people are saying this. So you know, that's how they are looking at it. So if you say the direction of the country is this way, so you look at it from that fair. Oh, well, we are doing this. It's not fair. But I think for me, what you do, linga munti def, nitki askan bi monika sa def George, because eventually, I mean, they will now contribute in terms of evaluating leaders' performance in next election. So, but government, when you know at Afrobarometer, you get a report, some people, media, some report it this way, others reported it that way. They look at things that they're interested in, and they look at it. But the fact that we interviewed the people, and this is what they told us, nobody can do more.
So what do you mean? No, just a minute. What do you mean that the headline is different from what is inside?
Yeah, when I read because like hanga media, sometimes I feel like it's a media headline to attract everybody to go there. But when I read it, I'm looking at where they're talking about even Afrobarometer is government partner and all those different stuff. I mean, so it's not just rejecting. What they are rejecting was the direction of the.
Yeah, but that is their headline. Government symbol, but that's their headline.
It was not written by any other media house.
Yeah, it was government.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's government sent Boba. Then you were saying headline and they were rejected. But when you read the statement, you don't see any reject. So if they were rejecting, either they could reject our methodology or they could reject our findings, but they didn't do any of that. What they're saying that, okay, well, you know, perception survey is this and that, which they criticize our limitation, because every league have their limitation. Sometimes we criticize it, but they did not come and say, well, we reject the entire survey. But they come in, because we just bring in public
data.
Well,
that is what their headline said.
Yes,
the headline said,
I'm not disputing that.
Government rejects Afrobarometer survey.
Yes, clearly.
Yeah.
That's what they say. But then
but reject is reject.
No, why they don't reject? Why so hunger man? You know,
I understand your point. Maybe in this statement,
I will not come you write headlines.
Yes.
So when you write headlines, if I come stop and say, you need to understand that. Because that is a skill set itself.
Yeah, sure.
You know, speaking of the Ministry of Information, I'm journalist in Buba, you be a headline. And the headline is to direct you to one point. Yeah, but I'm telling you that that's what government wrote.
But remember, the deadline is the headline is always the intention of the article.
Yeah, but man, as an analyst, I don't focus on that.
No, I'm not saying you should.
No, but focus on that. But
you know, in the same way, for example, Buba, let's take the best example of the Voice.
No, you will come.
If you look at Voice newspaper, I mean, what was in their headline and what was in the content, at some point.
You need to ask me, and when I'm telling you, I look at it from the holistically. I don't just headline. That if I was doing that, we'll
so you look at it more than the government.
You know, I look at.
So they reject it.
Yeah, because they release a statement. I can send you a letter, and I put the head in there, but in the detail. For me now, I'm looking at.
But did it make sense?
The detail and the headline.
But did that make sense?
No, I'm telling you, it doesn't go along.
So
on one side you are rejecting, but on the other side, in the statement you are welcoming. So for me, that's why I'm confused even with government position when it comes to that. But for us as Afrobarometer, this is not my business. We're not government replying, reject. No,
we understand that.
You know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So your job is just to communicate what the people are saying.
And I've done that one. So today, Nakaloko media, we've been there, Nakaloko government reacted, that is up to them. But now that's why the way that the government reacted, that's why we are having this debate, which is also our interest. You know, the government reject Nako, so this debate. And people are not even focusing on the economic issues in Nicaragua, but government reject, so that's the debate. But that's why I want us to focus.
Yeah, but I think it's because it is the first time in history, I believe.
Government in 2018 when we released, they wrote a statement because then the survey shows that President Barrow wasn't trusted.
Oh.
So they released a statement.
Okay, they said in 2018.
Yes, that's why I'm speaking, because I'm also tracking where Afrobarometer, who is talking about Afrobarometer, who is saying that even this National Development Plan, government coded Afrobarometer survey. You can go to the National Development Plan and you see it. So that's why I was I was a little bit confused. That's why I need to look at the entire statement, not just focus on the headline. That's why I need to look at on the entire statement and say, well, somebody that wrote a report some time ago welcoming this, quoted it in the National Development Plan. We cannot just reject the survey that way. You see my position? So that's why I said the conversation now, I don't want it just to be between me and government, but the most focus is what is the people saying. And for us, Afrobarometer, this is what we want to put there.
All the politicians are quoting your survey now. All the politicians in this country are quoting.
Tomorrow when this survey comes and it doesn't
when it really doesn't favor them, they will tell agency.
You know, in 2019...
And when you say that's what they do, and then now you are denying that the government, because the survey is not in favor of the government.
No,
and the government, we said the government reject. We said the government reject, and you are saying...
You never said that.
No, I am listening. No, I'm listening to you. You
might be listening, but you may not have heard. It doesn't look like it.
No, I had it very clear. I understand your point. You see, imagine covering Diamo Imbeka at the end of it, right? You know, it's like sending. I mean, many of the politicians are all going with your phone call. I mean, that's what they do, but like if it does not go in favor, you understand? So I am telling you, the same thing is happening right now. It doesn't go in favor of the government at some point, and just like the government say reject.
I agree, but I'm saying that I'm telling you the government headline. You know me, I'm an analyst.
The headline.
You're bringing me here to analyze. When I look at it, the headline is that they say they reject it.
It's the intention.
Yes,
that's fine.
That's your opinion also.
No, not my opinion.
But when I read the statement, I don't see any point they rejected anything.
But the headline has explained everything. The headline when it says reject, I explain everything. No.
I'm of the view that the headline should really correspond with the content of the message.
Yes.
So I see Sait Matty's point. They put the headline to catch people's attention. But you read the details aside from the headline.
Journalists should do that.
There is no, but this is not journalists. This is the government, the ministry.
And this is why I agree.
Government should say, they could say in this
no,
way.
the point there is, just let me come.
On the recent Afrobarometer, I mean, survey.
I agree with you.
That's the intention. And we must all agree that the intention of that letter was that they disagree with the survey. That's it.
I agree.
Tell us.
That's their opinion.
That's their opinion. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you.
Now, okay, I understand Sait Matty's point. Now, just let me come. Now, your person is maybe the government intention to reject it. Why you read their statement from what you saw. It is not a rejection as the headline indicated. So that is your.
That's what I saw from the statement. And that is specific to the statement. That nigga platform, they are rejecting like you know. But it's a different discussion. But the statement, that's where I specify. Because madam so but I want us to be very clear. And I am talking about the statement.
It's the positive and negative.
You can bar me, but I am very clear.
It's like a battery. Positive and negative. At this point now, the negative is the government, and the positive are positive.
Okay.
I know there could be another survey. By listening to, like government itself, you understand that? That's why, for me, what I heard from you here, there should be nothing like reject in any headline.
I agree.
Because but if you go inside, the survey is fully detailed. Yes, and then it explains everything.
Clearly.
It favors government, it favors the citizenry, you understand? Because it explains the exact situation of the citizenry.
Yeah.
So why should
I know that the only way you can say this survey is not accurate or is misleading is by bringing another survey.
Of course.
That is my point. I didn't see another survey that we say, but the Minister of Agriculture said if you go to a UDP community and you ask them. So that's why I asked this question. And where the communities that you went.
I want to bring in. Angaman, you see, there is politician and there is government.
Yeah.
So when the government releases a statement, I respond to government. They are politicians, but I am more focused on my government.
Yeah.
But politicians will turn to, maybe they talk to somebody that is not doing anything, or they talk to that. But if you look at our swing demographic, we spoke to people with post-secondary education.
Yeah,
they have degrees, We spoke to people ñoo xam ne you know they are working. If we look at their suñ analyze on economic level, you'll see that. But we also talk to people that have no formal education. The people with no formal education in this country are way more than the people with post-secondary education.
And
sometimes you wonder why all the problem that we are talking about in this country, why is that? Because there are few people that are educated, and we are the ones on top of there, and we are the ones messing up this entire country.
Okay. Then la moy sa reaction si sobe. What is your reaction?
Because that's the debate. That's always the debate. Yeah, he mentioned, Bayo mentioned something, you know, like what I mentioned when you say the politicians, they react that way. You know why I said that? You know, in 2018, like you take the office of the president, for instance, when we say the president was the most trusted, they ran with it. Because at that time, it was a little more normal, like you know, which was okay. In 2019, I remember we did a survey. It was IRI. I think we did a survey for IRI, and then we pointed that Borough was going to win the election. And I cannot remember the amount of, you know, this was 2019.
2019, yeah.
Because we are asking, because right now we didn't Afrobarometer, we do ask those kind of questions, but we don't release those things. You know, but the survey shows that if people think like when you release something, mu andak with their gis-gis, manama wone dafa andak guys and helat, then they are okay with it. Because politicians, I mean...
But why can't you release it?
Huh?
Well, look at
like sometimes we release things. We can release it, but people can go and analyze it on their own time. But when we are interested in more important things that people want to look at it, in terms of who's going to win more, but when we release it, it's for you, the journalists and for the politicians
to run with, and politicians will grab it.
But if you do some of those surveys, you understand, it's always important. For example, especially at this time of period, you understand?
Yeah.
You go and wait.
No, but then, you know, Cyprus is doing those kind of election surveys. Let them focus because they've started it.
But nobody listens.
Yes, Cyprus did one before the 2021
Let them
election.
Cyprus do their
Okay, so then you can come with your reaction about the survey and the government statement. Yo, what is your reaction?
Okay, I applaud the institution that has conducted the survey. Bepare diga bi moy ne nekut ne force survey la, right? Te nekut ne ñom rek ñoy def survey. Comme Sait Matty mentioned na ko fini in the development plan, they were specifically referenced, right? In there, it's a document because at the time they believe ne sen liggéey rafet na parce que xëy na génneen lañ lu neex si seen déggin ak lu neex lu rafet si seen gis-gis, right? waaye ok right now nii génneen nañ loo xam ne ñoom seen gis-gis rafetut ñaaw na si seen gis-gis ñaaw na si seen déggin and then the debate here is the caption bi headline bi ànd na content bi ne àndata content bi waaye liñ ci binda mooy ne daxa nañ li nga xam ne loolu lañ wax. Now that brings me to this word that I like to talk about all the time, consistency. bu rafetee si sa gis-gis rek baax na waaye sa gis-gis su rafetut rek baaxut and nañ bàyyi xel li ma wax de waxuma ne su rafetut o su rafetee waaye yow sa gis-gis nit ki ko seet sa gis-gis mooy ne rafet na nga nangu ko sa gis-gis mooy ne rafetut nga daxa ko. Now again it's not ndax dëgga la ndax du dëgga seetuloo ci loolu noonu yow loola arrangé rek nga ànda waaye gis nga man li ma dee wax si dëkk bii nii dafa am ñoo xam ne dañ nekk di suffer from a mental disorder called schizophrenia. There are a lot of people who are schizophrenic, right? And nit nañ medication boo xam ne ma ngi ci am lu bari te ku ci ñëw jarul nga jënd ko dinaa la ko may.
It's free of charge.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I have the medication. I will give it free of charge. And many feebar bi li muy def mooy they hallucinate a lot. And they portray delusional disorder. I mean delusional behavior. Right? Si seen jëfin si seen waxin parce que duñ nangu dëgga duñ doxal dëgga duñ gis dëgga waaye lu leen arrangé wut rek dinañ ko daxa onasanga li leen arrangé ndax dëgga la ndax du dëgga dinañ ci taxaw ñu dooleel ko te loolu mu ngee def yaxa bu bari onasanga gis nga yii liñ war a def mooy ne su génnee ñu jël si li si baax ñu dooleel ko li ci ñoom liñ wax ne askan bee ko wax ne àndut ak ñun arrangé wuñu you know ñu seet naka la ñuy jéem a defee ba next time ña ko waxoon duñ ko waxati parce que am na changement am na wécci bu ci xew waaye li ñuy def rek mooy reactionary defend attack bad mouth lash degrade demoralize that's the strategy biñ dee use te once upon a time support nañ ko ba def ko ci loo xam ne mooy seen bible bi moom la gars yi di téye fu dem fu nekk NDP te NDP achieve nguñ 0.2% sax of the NDP of the NDP te we are in what year 2025 right so géejee from what year to what year NDP year xaw ma ñaata lañ joxe lan mooy the achievement rate fii nii soo ba tey rek ma tënk wax bi mooy déggu ak sa waxi démba ak sa waxi tey dañ ko war a taaj mu war a méngoo su dee changement war na see am ñëpp war nañoo gis lan mooy changement bi ak li war a tax changement am understand nga waaye loolu duy am fii nii suñ wecci dafa nekk because of li ñuy benefit li ñuy indi yokkute ñun suñ jëma mooy tax ñu wecci suñ taxawaay loolu lañ fi gis waaye du ne dëgga moo tax ñu wecci oo fen moo tax ñu wecci ñu bokka oo bokkuñ so loolu laa gis si lii nii and seen so-called rejection bi wéeruñ ko fen. And again, let's look at the characters that are rejecting whatever it is. Then we see whether it's what, rejecting or not. Are their morals intact? Are their characters intact? If it is questionable, you don't have the moral authority to question anybody else at all. And that's what I see here. They don't. So, I mean, attitudinal change. And let's be honest here. To be honest, we need to be honest.
Yeah, baraka baga buwa. The Sait Matty na luntamba. Ba konto na ba.
Luntamba ba fang.
Banku di kendo lam. Ay man sakunda kendo fa andar siri. Dia do ko mi alon ko ila do ko la sartol ye memfo. Bole ke kam. Andu man sakunda ye telefonan la bunda ni yo bunya le bake ka jeko yeta yo kusifal sambana. Ansa kundala ya niro menti wala mu information o akumata bakale fabe fevola ban fate fevola bar information o nyanta futale male te activity bulu sai te information o manage la nyade man sa kunda fana na miro molate wala tinandi momu ndi sinyi kusifa ke no banko ka asantare ko police te tondonna ansa kunda te tondonna la isake sila information o ansa kunda fana nyanta mengela mole salo mol fon fana nyanta mengele fay salon kando ala nin dia mo ko jang ay mol fo be ya don ka fo ci wala mo la karinya mo la soto lo rola karola no demokrasi la karola nin ku jamal men ya don ko harma dum nyantol la yol be kiskisiro ni asika nyama te keno la nyama bayre harama dum ibe do ko do futo isi problème o soto no je isi na so soto no je di am lal men fanan ka respond itol fanan e ka mel respond wato dol e ka mo nyinin kala fo men ka te na fa malo men be kerim fa amalo par nyanyinin ga dam ka boy bulasi kuma do fo isi mini wala isa fo nyine be keri ite wala tarabulo ko para satar ko men be larate fon ka te malo men nyanta te yirwand la amalo men nyanta yirwand ya bal yala fana amolo so ye doko men ke doku betolomu ntesi men fo lo ay ko be ma bay man sakunda ba ma la performance na moy dia mo ko no fana man sakunda ron fana na yol fana ma sa fo fendi ma atu ketel bul sa ite be kiskisro kenu la nyaadile kaje ko itel ta to nyaale mbam foto nyaati na ko local government la performance mu nyinati na be 33 le wuli ikana jutu la kumola de wuli yeta ko jibe muni ake 33 nazara man sakunda fananta mu 40 wala 25 man sakunda fana wuli la kola ya jibe abe men fo kan mo la koto yeta ko jibe o information oni o mu ite fana karnalte pour ici la do ko kafuno pour kaje ko mol si da hasoto e membe kola membe be wol bala wol si adresse no wo ko de ntenaje wo nyale yo so to la man sakunda na bunda ile nyankuma wo la stakar lawo civil society wo morol wo be sila mira kumo hanne ko sinimbe fandan kala bawontel ngawo information o moy be siw lola wala kan be bambanna wala kan mbo do ko la kala kaje ka fo ko ite même fo o kanante so ande ni ko sacce wuro bota dami ma fo sacce abita ka min tole o ka fallo ladre manke sacce ite borla anata dem sacce la mo de sibu no borodi so ñine be ko ñine kono so man sa kunda ñing ay ñi environmental fond me yele ñine yow damma o wo mu atik menote kaje ko bawo namu ya ko war soto tanu ya muta ya samba mile to but this time maja aya ke mo ma kumandi ay la hotelol to lal to wala dinkral to damin ya lon ko do ku lal lem yela molier accept mo te report la man sa kunda o dis agree le shay ka fudro ha karnol be man sa kunda la criticize ka o e be la do ku dole la janga eta ye intercept wol bu ka ke no shay so nge konto nge tentu nge jay atu taytol fanambulu de ila do ku lal men kada o do ku lal ye kesi mo si fala mo do ku lal o do ku lal nyim politicien be kono ba o do ku lal men yalon ko e bol fanan man sa jawolo muyti ba o community jawolo muyti is a good information on nati ya sika ya nati imbe clinton na do ko ila fo fendem fo wala be la tablo ka assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. I'm like, why?
Yes, regarding the rejection, if it is a total rejection, then Manzakunda is rejecting even that which is favorable to them, because there are indicators that they have performed in certain areas. Yeah, so for me, it doesn't make sense for you to reject, but that's the only option they have. You cannot have reject. You have to either come full or this, but it's an indication that they also have done well in some other areas. So what I would advise would be, let them not be reactionary. Government should be proactive. I think would say there has to be government research-led institutions to help the government in what they do and stuff like that. All the time they are reactionary. You know, these are research institutions. They are not politicians. And they ask government.
We are politicians, but not party politicians.
Yeah, we're party politicians. Yes.
Yeah, you guys are
partisan politicians.
Because we want to influence.
Yes.
So,
yes.
But not party.
But again, look. If you come and reject, what are you rejecting? What Gambians say? You are a politician. You have to be smarter than that. Okay, nyul ko Gambian le nyine fo. Mbaton do fana nga bunya banga kisi. Nga alta mole mfana ben na kata kol kele nga gibe. But if you now reject, how does that put a Gambian who has given or responded? You are telling that Gambian you are lying. You are telling that Gambian, how can you get the vote of that Gambian? If you reject the effort of that Gambian for speaking out. This is what it is. Somebody has spoken out, you want to reject what he said without you bringing anything to counter that. So for me, that's not politically sound. Imagine could a smart government would do.
Toto kandala atele toto lo menka juma alam fi lo mande ka toto kandala atele alam toto juma la ka juma si wona
Munam tototi?
Fro.
Ah, okay.
Don't ma understand, I explain.
No, toto sinkilim. Menka toto kandala.
Go, time man tra je
Man sa
man masala time bantale.
E ba kala kan bla do la ba yalo lako mel min fana be no ma men be mara karola yi daji ko lo
Sa wala nyulti fo.
waro do ka nyokutal
Wala nyulti.
Ngeen ginin ka ye toto kantala jumale ron Gambia be kono yang.
adam maro mi toto kandala
Adam
maro mi toto kandala
Oh, okay.
mo mel ka
Okay.
sawu adam ka ul kanda bi adam bete ata sina man bete ya man sa kunda ka tende bi akata tende adam yo do ala man sa kunda yi do ne wala nan handi ya ja ka fa kanan je ngari je ko salo ne don bi ta fundila dal maga ko akon ni UDP kol kay ko kana nyinke abo kelal because salo ne
Okay, so time
Kule bije.
Okay, so ndenga memira walem is an understatement. If you ask many Gambians, they will tell you the same thing. Survey made and the call imang lako manzakunda ben samba kan dameng dulale men itol ya ka aben bondila sama aben tunendila dogonne andong ni wo fota dong manzakunda ya ka fanjibele and wole be caring because all the indications are there. So we will thank the institution for doing this great job. Let's be frank, because of the political climate and so on. Now that we have it, it's still a plus to President Barrow, and that's what research also has said. So until we are accepting both the positive and then the negative. The positive is being told by saying ne call for kanja. That's a positive. But if you can somebody, especially from an economic perspective, yeah.
Yeah, so I think, Buba, I mean, the program is very interesting. I mean, Sait Matty, you know, I mean, I come milfujang, kumata bakere. I remember if I'm a it's like moli memfai, like engagement on molu. You know, I was part of people many years ago, you know. I mean, I don't survey like service like this. And the first survey many years ago, I understand. I disagree. I have to be very frank. But later on, I was opportune to engage by Mr. Damfa.
Yeah.
Damfa, Cyprus, yeah. And then, you know, when he, engaged me, I finally understand, because I engage like sampling and others. So finally I understand, because, you know, so will me feel me alongo, and then I can more informally, I mean, so all what I will say is, all in the government, they can use some of these data, essentially data use no, through do coal milk, developmental milk, essentially data town use no wala, because the data are there to inform them. Molla sula coal momenti, Najiba silula coal for Jande. Mulmelialonko. Kununko, for example, Nunko Kununko, maybe some 2018, 2019, 2020, Mulla Sulul Mumenti, Batalaka Nyameng, Evalafaka Nyameng. So government can take these data yata to inform, I mean, what they should do, Yantaka development on Melke. So I am very pleased that be in Arajamfanang and then in discussion, okay? So I will encourage you and your team. Even if it doesn't favor, for example, the political, you know, reporting, I mean, I would like you to bring it out. Don't wait for Cyprus. You understand? So
so they're the expert in.
No, I know that. No, they're the expert. But you already have. You already have a role. You already have a role. Yeah, no. But you already not okay. If Skuneka na fulane.
No, okay,
whatever.
They're also doing it. They are just
we don't release it. Like, why we do it?
So they do it. If they do it, they have to release it. Like the way they release it all over. So the problem.
push. They are released, and then it comes to that.
No. You know what's more important?
Someone is the expert on that.
You know one thing. I mean, we all need to agree. You see, like the job you are doing, it must be thick skin. Because if you don't go menkeka, there are not diata, there are dole, now kuyata, akwera dole. So you can expect reaction from everyone. Let's say, you know, yalong. Let's say if it is no, listen wrong. If it is not in favor of opposition, they will react. Likewise, if it is not in favor of the government, they react. This report may come up in the 77 something.
Yeah, even people are disagreeing.
Members are talking about it. And people go to TikTok, go to WhatsApp forums. We are talking about Yalong Talibu. Let's talk about this. I'm not joking. Who's joking? No, you are joking. Because you are bringing joke. I mean, I don't think so. If you go to MPP forum, some of them, it's like they were attacking them, and I believe if it is
attacking.
I mean the
Afrobarometer.
And I can tell you, if it is also against UDP or any opposition party, you understand? The same attack Ebola Kelela. But I am never meant for a Gambia. I mean, now let's make sure now understand. It's like inatele kankarandi. You understand? And government is also very weak. Kabanku dungu karandi. Civic education. I mean, Jawara Wato, La Sembo Warata, katam bi jambela watola but jambela watola fana sembo wora katam bi borola watola let's call a spade you understand so something that department abe fakana
from inception of barola wato
I mean whatever I am telling you I am talking about no not inception or whatever I am talking about barola presidency not inception not inception I'm not here to
thank you so much bye
I am only here to say we want some of those things
you want them to be empowered okay all right okay thank you so much okay léegi mën nga tago because you don't have time here
definitely I mean I really appreciate this ne ñun suñu liggéey bi lii la moo tax ñun we are not doing survey for NPP for UDP for anybody but dinañ laaj askan bi lan lañ foog si UDP what they foog si NPP for any political party because ñun that's what the decision we've decided as our way of contributing to the development of the country and moo tax don't worry we are not going to be intimidated. We're not sharing Tamil because we share Tamil in terms of what we feel also is priority for the people and what at the time. That's why we also look at time in B and then we release certain things. End of year and there was afterthought and all that stuff and people were discussing. So we thought that it was important that we release this one. But one of the things that we Luma concluded more in definitely even the way that people used to react, nakala niti dan reacted to surveys when we started in 2018, 2019, after election day. Never change. And why it changed, Munenyo one separate survey towards the election, maybe that can change it. But lately we are having more people opening up and even people requesting, both opposition and government, requesting for data from us. Government ministries are coming to us requesting data from us. And so for us, Lee Money Consume Bebet, just to see people start focusing on data, but also not only data, but you commence to develop askandi, what the people are saying, so that you know develop policy. Because if you develop a policy, at the end of the day, it's for the people. So if the people don't appreciate it, then it's not for them. So so those are things that is important. And in our political discussions, you bring in these issues. If you ask me from 2018 to now, I can tell you what are the most important problems that people are saying. Is the government addressing those problems? Is the opposition discussing about those problems?
Holding the government to account
to those things. So for me, those are the things. That's why our surveys are basically for those things. And we want that kind of conversation to be there. And thank you really for inviting me. I'm open up 2025 with you guys.
And we appreciate you, Colin. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I want to hire you for a contract. So
you can talk about that after the program.
If it is for political party, I have people. I don't do those ones. Those kind of stuff. So me, I only do people want.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm just teasing you.
Understand that the government will not develop policies, laws, or whatever. In isolation of people's needs and aspirations. And how would you know about people's needs and aspirations if you consult them, if you talk to them? Understand that? And again, the sensitization, I think, is getting better. Like, for example, Bayo attacked some survey because lack of understanding, but when he consulted and understand how these surveys work and the purpose, and
even the prediction came out right?
Yeah, exactly. And then he began to appreciate it. So definitely, consultation is important in everything that we do because it has to be people-centered. We need to be patriotic, not individualistic on everything we do. Now I want to close. The whole of 2024, Talibo, you promised us that you will arrange for us to go interview, to have Barrow on the Bantaba. It hasn't happened. Now I want to challenge you. Talibo. Use your connection, your standing. It's a more valid MPP. Bayo. Bayo, keep quiet. Bayo, keep quiet. Talibo,
no, 2025, Talibo ba arrange la.
Talibo, amula ntenga na kumofo. Ni Talibo ma arrange no, ntebe tala for State House. I will make the request for us to have Barrow on the Bantaba. The whole of last year, it did not materialize. We understand he's busy, he was told and everything. But this is the beginning of the year. The pressure is a little bit less. You may have time. No many travels right now. And of course, Talibo promised us that Barrow was going to na Bantaba bayo fanang dilan na. Wafanang monkey. 2 requests. Na Bantaba bayo and for you to have you on the platform.
Medala off camera, Mocha channel. Medala off camera.
So, President Barrow, On behalf of the entire Bantaba, as the queen of the show, we're extending a request, and we will do it officially, to host you on the Grand Bantaba. We discuss issues of Gambia and Gambian. And of course, that day, hopefully, Ibn Nabayol Fanankarala. Thank you.
We really appreciate that. To be honest. Thank you so much. Millennium program. Can we listen, please?
The host closes the program.
Time of Bantele.
Koto kuwa wamo kameralati. Koto kuwa te janti. Kuwa ta.
All right, thank you so much. I'll tend to Kyle J. Bake, Mobe, the Grand Bantaba GBA Kano, Nyindam program followed in 2025. Bari, Milbeka Jim program on Wamba Fola Kola Barka Baki. Atole Nyim program, okay, Nyim program, Moti, Atoleka GB, Atole subscribe Kang. Na YouTube channel ola Kerfato Media. Thank you so much. Ngal appreciate bakele alkanyim program on no manyame milbe Gambia jang ani milbe Gambia bandila mba fola mobe ko. Thank you so much. We appreciate wala na ngafu mobe ko yeta ko dal sang Kerfinder. Ito lebe nyim program ko wala na alka jibe no. Momobe program mo jibe kan alila nambata be bore kan screen o duma science tenting albaje lale Kerfinder le ka cordal wifi jamia lon ko ela lanno warta bakele andum cordal lorim bandingol fanam be bulle ni lafta kasang na technician ol Charles Elvis Ngom Mustafa Kamara Lamin Diallo ani fatsila ngebe tinduke je bake ka tara nyim program ko ma bi fo arjumanala ni ala kititala bye bye.
Finder is a real estate company that focuses on property development within the Gambia. We pride ourselves with providing not just quality and durable houses, but also state-of-the-art designs tailored to our clients' tastes and expectations. Our unique experience and expertise is second to none in the industry. We are currently building and selling 3-bedroom bungalows at Sukuta Traffic Lights and Jabang. We're also building and selling 3-bedroom story buildings at Sukuta Paradise. Other sites are also in the pipeline. With CareFinder, payment options are available. With just 40% deposit, you can get your house started. For more information, contact us on 329-5188, 727-0049, 709-8418. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram at CareFinder. With CareFinder, you are assured of a secure investment.